Hello, welcome. My name is AyoT. This is Eagles Tracker, the home of Nigerian football. This is the post-match show after the Super Eagles of Nigeria have just been knocked out of the Africa Cup of Nations by Morocco. Of course, there's still a third place match that is coming up against Egypt, but we are not fighting for the big one. It's a loser's prize essentially. Of course, you have to give credit to the team for everything that they've done so far in this tournament, and of course, if we get a bronze medal, it would still be something that we can take home and be happy about. Not quite as good as last AFCON, where we were able to go all the way to the final, but the boys played well. They inspired Nigerians. They gave a lot of hope. They gave a lot of joy to us throughout this tournament run. And for that, I say thank you to the Super Eagles players. I say thank you to the Super Eagles coach. I say good job, well done. Football is like that. You sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You hope to always win, but it doesn't always happen like that. And we came up against a very, very good Moroccan side, well drilled, well set up, great energy, great efforts, good quality players. And, they are going on to face Senegal in the final. And it's going to be an exciting final. I will watch the game, albeit as a neutral, but I would watch the game. Um, as always, I would run this by giving you guys my thoughts on the game, things that happened. I'll talk about the individual players, and then I'll give the audience a chance to call into the stream and to, air your thoughts. This is a safe space. If you want to scream, scream. If you want to complain, complain. If you want to give the boys credit, give the boys credit. If you want to cry, cry. When you call in, feel free to let any emotions that you have out of your heart. This is a safe space. We're all Nigerian football lovers here, and we're all equally, sad and disappointed at the fact that we are not in contention for the big one, for the prize for the AFCON 2025. But yes, Eric Shell sets his team up just like I expected in the same style that we've been going on in the last two games. Unfortunately, Wilfred Ndidi was suspended for this match, so he was replaced by Rafael Onyedika. And the game started, and honestly, right from the beginning of the game, you could see that Morocco came with intent. The way we jumped at Algeria, it was very similar to the way Morocco jumped at us in this match. From the very beginning, high press, and then they forced Ajayi into a mistake, and then they were going on a break. But thankfully, Shemi Ajayi was able to recover very well with a fine sliding challenge. But from that first action, that first error by Ajayi, even though he recovered well, I was already saying, this is going to be a long game. This is going to be a long game. They let us have the ball, for the most part in our build-up. What they did very well was just put bodies in the center of the park. They blocked the passing lanes. Alex Iwobi was ineffective because the Moroccans played him so well. When he got the ball, the press was good. Or they pressed him when he got the ball, maybe facing his own goal, or they let him have the ball and they just blocked the passing lanes and he just could not find it. Lookman tried to find Bright with a fine pass, but the defending was very good to prevent that. Diaz had a flash, in the first half where he caught the ball on his left foot and fired at goal. It was just wide of Stanley Wabali's goal. And again, this was just telling me that today, we're facing a good team. It is going to be an interesting one. When Diaz had that shot that flashed wide, Iwobi played the ball into Lookman in the first half. Lookman lined one up, and his shot was comfortably saved by Yassine Bono. It was the first shot on target of the game, and it went on to be the only shot on target that the Super Eagles had in the entire match. Rafael Onyedika made one error very early in the first half as well, where he was dispossessed easily, but Morocco couldn't find space for the counter. Eventually, they got a corner. There was also a set piece opportunity from a free kick where Aguerd headed well over the bar. But again, at this point, you could already see the game had taken shape. Morocco were in control. Morocco were the side on top of things in this match. There was a corner for Morocco that nearly fell for Ekabi. It was crossed in. Someone headed it down. Ekabi was trying to maybe do a bicycle kick or what was doing exactly. I'm not sure, but he couldn't get his body shape right and were able to deal with that one. There was a cross that came in from Ashraf Hakimi. Diaz got on the end of it, but his header was off target. And then, one big moment, I don't think it eventually ended up affecting the course of the game, but it was a very, very bad call by the referee, where Calvin Bassey was adjudged to have fouled Brahim Diaz and he was given a yellow card, which means that he's going to miss the third place match now. Or at that point could have been him missing the final. It was not even a foul. It was not even a foul in the first place. And then Brahim Diaz holds his face and goes down and the ref gives a yellow card to Calvin Bassey. I thought that was a very poor decision by the referee. Chale, you're our West African brother, but today you were not looking like you even wanted us to to do well in the game. It was a poor decision by the referee. Calvin Bassey suspended for the next match, but Bassey was solid throughout this game and throughout the tournament. Um, and then yes, the another moment where Hakimi struck at goal, misses just wide. I think that was from a free kick. Bali looked like he might have had it covered, but it was a very, very close shave, and just wide of the goal. And then Onyedika, another error in the first half where he was dispossessed easily again. And then Morocco hit on the counter. The ball came out, and then they eventually got another opportunity. Shot on goal was saved by Stanley Nwabali. We went into the halftime break goalless, but it was fairly obvious at halftime. Morocco were in control. Morocco were the better side at that point, and the Super Eagles were pretty much hanging on. At halftime, the Super Eagles were pretty much hanging on. But that's how the game was going. We were still in it, of course, as long as it's goalless, everybody still has a chance. The second half kicked off. Super Eagles started second half well, created one or two quick moments. But then once Morocco got the ball back, counter attack, Ezazuli forced a save from Stanley Nwabali, and then they got on the front foot again. And then it was wave after wave after wave, with the occasional counter-attacking opportunity for the Super Eagles. There was a moment where Mazrari drove forward and tried to play a pass where maybe he could have gone for goal by himself, but Calvin Bassey did very well to intercept the pass and not allow a chance come out of that. Again, Morocco were fully in control, but the Super Eagles defense was holding up pretty well. And I have to give credit to the defenders. They did a very good job today. Alex Iwobi tried to slip Osimhen through on goal, but Osimhen just couldn't get on the end of it. That one went begging. There was a long ball from Yassine Bono, and then it got to Brahim Diaz. He played a ball to El Kabi. It looked like El Kabi was already through on goal, but again, Calvin Ugelumba Bassi, already on a yellow card, but did very well to recover and allowed Stanley Nwabali to come off his line and claim the ball. Fantastic. Once again, Calvin Bassey stopped Ayub El Kabi getting towards a long ball, and Bassey was just on top of El Kabi throughout the match until El Kabi was subbed off, to be honest. There was a moment where the Super Eagles were just sloppy, and you could see the nerves or the tiredness or just the lack of focus getting into the game. One moment where Akko Adams was trying to play a sideways pass to Bruno Emechi, and under no real pressure, but just got the pass wrong. And it was just one of those things where the opposition is dominating and dominating you, and then you start to make mistakes with even the simplest of things that normally don't bother you, but suddenly you seem to be making errors. I think that's kind of what started happening to us. We couldn't maintain possession. They were pressing us like crazy. It was just a tough night for the Super Eagles. There was eventually a cross from the left side. Bruno got low to head it out. The threat for Morocco kept on coming. The corner came in. El Kabi headed that one wide again. And then there was a break, a counter attack. Onyedika had to bring his man down and was booked for that. Rightfully so. That one was a yellow card, unlike the Calvin Bassey one earlier in the game. And then Onyedika, shortly after, got another foul that he committed, but that one did not lead to yellow. And I'm happy that shortly after the coach subbed him off, because if he stayed on, he could easily have had a red card in that one. There was a penalty shout Morocco were looking for when Hakimi struck the ball against Calvin Bassey, I believe it was. But then when you see the replay, it was definitely not a handball. It was his midsection and then slightly touched his arm. Definitely not a handball, so that one, I thought it was more a shout in hope than in expectation, really. The Morocco was still on top, had a shot outside the box, well saved by Nwabali. There was a moment where Ezazuli sat Osayi Samuel down. I was like, ooh, okay. And then he whipped a cross in, but no one got on the end of it. Bruno headed away. Bruno did quite a good job defensively. Dealing with Brahim Diaz and Hakimi on that side is not easy at all. I thought Bruno did quite a good job. Full time, it was 0-0. Again, Super Eagles were were being dominated, frankly, by Morocco, but the defense was holding up very, very well. And again, at 0-0, you still believe you're still in it. You still have a chance. Maybe you can snatch one. We went into extra time, and it was just more of the same. You could see that Morocco were on top. Even in extra time, Morocco were on top. Fisadele Bashir eventually replaced Akko Adams after 98 minutes. Igamani had a shot on goal. It was an easy save for Nwabali. Brahim Diaz brought Bruno Emechi down when Nigeria had a counter attack. And this was when I said, Haba, Chale, like I'm not, if you guys watch me, like I'm not someone that likes to come online and accuse referees of cheating or accuse referees of bias. But when Diaz brought Bruno down, I do not understand how he did not get a yellow card. When Diaz brought Bruno down, that was exactly what happened with Onyedika. And Onyedika's one, I agree, was a yellow. But when Diaz brought Bruno down, I do not understand how the referee did not give him a yellow card. The Moroccans, if I'm not mistaken, I think did they go through the entire game without getting a single yellow? I don't understand how that happened. I have no idea how that happened. The referee, man, was having a laugh. There was another moment again where he should have given another yellow and he just didn't give it. The referee was having a laugh, because look, sometimes I wonder, like, again, I don't want to say the referee is cheating, but you're just making bad decisions and seemingly favoring your position, and it's just like, what are you doing, bro? If you should even be cheating for anybody, you should be cheating for Nigeria, Ghana, Nigeria. We're brothers. But when I saw that, I said, nah, this referee is joking. Not like that yellow card would have changed anything per se, but if you're going to book Bassi for that, if you're going to book Onyedika, then you have to book Diaz when he does the same thing that Onyedika did. So that was very shocking for me. Dangerous ball into the box, handled by Calvin Bassey. Calvin Bassey was amazing the entire game. Bruno found Lookman outside the area. He tried to control the ball or maybe find a pass for Victor Osimhen. Couldn't do it. Morocco kept on putting balls into the box. Calvin Bassey kept on dealing with them. Simon whipped the ball in towards Osimhen, but it was dealt with well by the Moroccan defense. And in the 118th minute, Paul Onuachu replaced Victor Osimhen. And then the last action of extra time was a long-range effort by, I believe it was El Ainoui. I forget how to pronounce his name. El Ainoui, had a long-range effort, and it was well saved by Stanley Nwabali. Shortly after, the whistle went and we were heading to penalty shootout. Penalty shootouts, of course, El Ainoui stepped up first for Morocco, slotted it in. Paul Onuachu stepped up for Nigeria. Fantastic penalty by Paul Onuachu. Igamane stepped up for Morocco, well saved by big Stanley Nwabali. And then Chukwueze. Look, see, Samuel, I love you, Samuel Chukwueze. You've been cracking us up on Iwobi's vlogs throughout the AFCON. But what on earth was going on? Samuel Chukwueze came on for penalties. Like, the coach did not bring him on for anything else than to take a penalty. Sometimes you can say, oh, when a player doesn't play the game and you bring them on for penalties, like, they are not necessarily sharp because they were not in the game. But they brought you on to do one job, to kick it. All this, the Gen Zs will say he was aura farming because Chukwueze was stepping up for that penalty from his walk-up, because you can't call that a run-up. You can't call it a run-up. From Chukwueze's walk-up, you could see that he was going to miss. Because why are you doing fine boy to take pen? Why are you doing fine boy to take pen? My guy, if you are nervous, if you are doubtful, just play it with power. I would rather you blast it and sky it. Frankly, as much as I'll still be sad that you missed, but it's better to blast it and sky it, blast it and the goalkeeper saves it, than for you to come and be bouncing and be doing, oh, I don't run, I walk up to the ball. And then you take a poor penalty, like such a poor penalty. I'm sure Yasin Bono was like, huh? Is this guy tripping? Look, Chukwueze, man, like, we love you, but what was that? In the big moments, you can't do that. He looked like he was not interested. Like, he was looking very nonchalant. Like, I'm telling you, from his walk up, I already was like, this guy is going to miss. Obviously, hindsight, I can say it now, and if he scored it, I won't be saying this. But just from the way he was walking up to the ball, I was like, why? Why no run up? Why are you bouncing? Why are you looking like a big boy to take penalty? My guys, this semifinal of the AFCON. Chukwueze, man, you fall hand today. Bruno missed his penalty as well, but I can't even fault Bruno. Bruno tried to blast it down the middle. Look, most left footers, you know that they go to this side, to the left of the goalkeeper. Most left footers, that's where they take their penalties. And Yasin Bono guessed as much, that's where Bruno might take his penalty. So Bruno thought let me just put it straight down the middle, and I have a better chance because the goalkeeper might dive that direction. Unfortunately, it wasn't central enough. That's why Bruno was able to react and save Bruno's penalty. For Bruno's own, I give it as a good save, by the goalkeeper Yasin Bono. But for Chukwueze's own, just nonchalant walk up, nonchalant penalty, poor penalty. And yes, Ben Sege scored for Morocco. Fisa Dele Bashiru scored a good penalty for us. Hakimi scored for Morocco. Bruno missed his own, and then Yusuf and Naziri scored the winning penalty. Morocco won 4-2 on penalties in this one. Man, some things that I maybe don't fully understand. The coach subbed Victor Osimhen off and brought Onuachu on. Granted, Onuachu is a good penalty taker, but Osimhen is also a good penalty taker. It was in the 118th minute. Could he maybe have taken someone else off to let Victor Osimhen take a pen? Could he? I don't know. Now, we did not get to take our fifth penalty. So we don't know who would have taken that fifth penalty. However, we still had Moses Simon, who had not taken a penalty. Simon usually is our second choice behind Ekong. So surprisingly, Simon had not taken one. Maybe Simon was the fifth penalty. I don't know. We also had Ademola Lookman, who had not taken a penalty. Was Lookman the fifth penalty? We also had Alex Iwobi, who had not taken a penalty. Was Iwobi the fifth penalty? These three guys, you would want to believe that they are better penalty takers than Bruno Oyemaechi. Now, Bruno could have scored. I expected Bruno to score, to be fair. I expected Bruno to score. But you wonder how Nigeria takes 4 penalties and neither Simon nor Ademola Lookman has taken one. It means that one of them would not have taken in the initial 5. Let's even remove Iwobi. Iwobi not they take penalty normally. So let's even remove Iwobi. Surprises me that Simon and Lookman, neither of them has taken a penalty going into the 5th one. Simon has missed penalty before. Who has not missed a penalty before? Who has not missed a penalty before? To say, oh, Simon has missed a penalty before. Tell me any player that takes penalties that has not missed one before. That's not a point. Everybody misses penalties sometimes, but you expect your leaders to step up. The people that do it frequently, you expect them to step up. Were they just nervous? Did they doubt themselves? Maybe that's the case. Look, I also believe that if you don't believe that you are going to score, then don't step up. I believe. If you don't believe you are going to score, don't step up. But I'm just asking the question, was it that they did not believe? Was it that the coach did not select them? Was it that the other guys just fought for it and wanted to take it? But however, I believe that Simon and Lookman, at least once, if we're getting to the 5th penalty, I expect that at least one has taken and the other one is the 5th penalty. That's my expectation. Because Simon takes pens. He takes pens for his club. He has been taking pens for years. For Nigeria, he has been taking pens. So if he misses one, he's never going to step up again. Because somebody in the comments is telling me, oh, he'll be nervous. Has Messi not missed pen for his country, did not step up and take another penalty? Has Ronaldo not missed pen, did not step up and take again? Bukayo Saka has not missed pen, did not step up and take again? Mention any player that takes pens regularly. They've all missed because they are human now. And they will step up and take it again. Especially in a big game like this. If Simon or Lookman is feeling pressure, then what is Bruno feeling? Bruno no be big player like them now. Bruno no be senior man like Simon. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying that I would have liked to see them step up and take penalties. I understand Onuachu is a good penalty taker. Maybe some people believe that Osimhen was injured. That's why he went off. Maybe, okay, fine. Chukwueze, I understand Chukwueze stepping up because he can strike a ball. It's just the attitude towards that penalty from Chukwueze that was just absolutely terrible. Very nonchalant, very nonchalant, very nonchalant. Shout out to Big Yak. Big Yak says playing for Nigeria, it is a massive, massive pressure. But I understand. I agree. It's massive pressure. But Yak, you have no say if you did there, you go take penalty. Yak. As big as the pressure is, Yak, you have no. If you did there, you go take penalty. You go take penalty. And that's just what I'm saying. I'm not doubting the pressure. I'm not doubting the nerves. I've never played in front of millions of people before and had to deliver. I'm not doubting. But I'm just saying, comment the moment, comment the man. If Yak is there, Yak will not step away now. If Victor Moses is there, Victor Moses will not step away. If even Musa will not go step away, they go take the penalty. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I would have expected that, one of them would have stepped up earlier. But again, like I say, I understand. If you feel in your mind, say, oh, I know this sure, I'm not confident, then I understand. You can let somebody who is more confident to go. I understand that completely. If you feel like you're not sure, you're not certain, and somebody else is sure, then yes, allow that person to go. Obviously, I'm just looking at this in hindsight. I'm looking at it in hindsight. Obviously we've lost. If we won, I would not be saying these things. I completely get it. I completely get it. So I'm not knocking anybody per se. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just reviewing things and what I would have preferred. But again, Bruno, I can't blame Bruno. I thought it was a good save by Bono. It's just that Chukwu own that, man, Samu, the moment was bigger than what you did. The moment was bigger than what you did. The moment was bigger than what you did. Samu, man, you're supposed to put your laces to that thing. That was just a bit too nonchalant. Because again, if you miss a penalty, but you try, nobody is really going to be vexing. Because it's football, man. You miss some, you score some. It's just because of the way Chukwueze stepped up to it. It's just the way he stepped up to it. It was bouncing. It was doing, it just did not look like he tried. But yeah, let me go into my individual reviews of the players. But before I do, just quick shout outs to David for the super chats. Thank you very much. Another super chat here from James. Thank you very much. Real K says Osimhen is good, but he's not a big game player. Real K, man, that's a big statement. I don't necessarily agree with that. That's a big statement. Uche says Osimhen was really limping. So assuming he was hurt, maybe that's why he could not take a penalty and had to go off. So Uche says Osimhen was really limping. Akin says our guys try a beg, but that referee beans. Yes, the boys, the boys tried, man. The boys tried hard. I can't even fault the effort. They were outplayed by Morocco, but they fought hard. Especially the defenders. They fought really hard. And the referee, yeah, it is what it is. Shout outs to Ume Onyabo. Thank you for the super chat as well. Much, much, much appreciated. Okay. Yakubu said even himself don't miss penalty like that. Chukwueze won for Middlesbrough before. Okay. Let me just go into my individual reviews of the players. Stanley Bobo Nwabali. Look, Nwabali had not had much to do so far in this tournament, but today he ended up making 5 saves. He saved 1 penalty. Nwabali stepped up today. I can't even fault him. Only one heart in the mouth moment where he delayed his clearance. But for the most part, Nwabali looked assured in goal. There was no shots that I felt like was going to get past Nwabali, even the ones that were off targets, maybe except the Brahim Diaz one in the first half. Nwabali looked like he had it covered. No complaint from Nwabali today. No complaints at all. I thought he did well. He tried in the penalty shootout. You give Nwabali a 9 out of 10. Didn't put a foot wrong. Didn't make a mistake. 9 out of 10 for Stanley Nwabali. Over to the defense, Bruno Oyemachi on the left side, made 5 successful tackles, 3 interceptions, 4 clearances, 4 ball recoveries, 14 goals won. Bruno Oyemachi had a fine game today. I thought he was very, very good defensively. He didn't have as much opportunity to go forward. Because the Moroccans were playing us very, very well. The few times that he had to go forward, it was just something that was not connecting. Either Akos' pass was too heavy, or he couldn't control the ball, or the pass was too long, or he couldn't beat his man. The Moroccans played him very well. But defensively, I thought Bruno did a very, very good job today. Very, very good job. Very good job. Shout out to Bruno, man. He has proven himself to be a good player at this AFCON. And, There's still one more game to go. I don't know if the coach rotates him or not, but kudos to Bruno for this game. I'll give him a 7.5. Calvin Bassey, 120 minutes, one tackle, three interceptions, 11 clearances, 8 ball recoveries, 8 duels won. Ugelumba, a rock. A rock. What more can you say? Calvin Bassey is whoever he thinks he is. Whoever Calvin Bassey thinks he is in his mind. That's exactly who he is. What a player. What a defender. I don't care if you are physical. I don't care if you are tricky. I don't care if you are pacey. Calvin Bassey will lock you down. Calvin Bassey will lock you down. He is quick. He is strong. He is intelligent. He can pass the ball. He can drive with the ball. The guy has everything, man. Fantastic performance by Calvin Bassey today. Unlucky that we lost. Look, the defenders did not deserve to lose this match. All the defenders, they did not deserve to lose this match. Plus the goalkeeper. They were fantastic. They were fantastic. It was just very, very, very unlucky for the defenders that we lost this game. You know, Calvin Bassey was solid today. I'll give an 8.5. 8.5. Didn't do anything wrong. Was solid. Dealt with everything. You know, I should even give him a 9 as well. You know, it was fantastic, man. Ugelumba, shout out to you, man. Fantastic player. Great job throughout this tournament. I know we have one more game, but for me, you know, that bronze medal, I know they sweet like that. But yes, Calvin Bassey, fantastic game. Fantastic game. Shemi Ajayi also had a good game, had a nervy moment in the first half, but after that moment, you know, went on to do well. 1 tackle, 1 interception, 11 clearances, 1 block, 5 duels won. You know, completed most of his passes. And yeah, after that initial error, he was steadier in the game, was doing well, was covering well, was recovering well. You know, marshaled that defense alongside Calvin Bassey. Didn't give the Moroccans any clear-cut chances. Another good performance by Super Eagles defender. Shemi Ajayi gets a 7.5 from me for today's game. I'll give him a 7.5. 7.5. We had Bright Osayi Samuel on the right side, also played 120 minutes, 3 tackles, 7 clearances, 3 ball recoveries, 12 duels won. It was a more mellow game than the last game. You know, he didn't have the opportunity to dominate that right side like he did against Algeria. But I also felt like Osayi Samuel still puts in a good account of himself. Yes, he got beat once or twice. I'll give him that. But I thought his performance was still good. Again, the entire defensive lineup, they held their own. They survived under pressure for most of the game. You know, this is one of those games where, as a defender, you'll just be looking at your strikers that are more, we've done everything. Score a beg now, score a beg. Because the defenders held their own. It wasn't easy. Ezazwili is a good player and he caused problems for Osayi Samuel. But he recovered well in many moments and he did well. Obviously, his attacking inputs wasn't as much in this game, but I'll still give him a 7 out of 10 for this one. Moving to the midfield, Raphael Onyedika. Look, I like Raphael Onyedika, but he didn't have the best of games today. Raphael Onyedika is usually a guy that you look at and you say, this guy is press resistant. But today, he gave the ball away twice in very, very compromising positions. It wasn't just at his best. His passing was still fairly comfortable, but he was also not playing any risky balls. I think the Moroccans knew that Iwobi is the heartbeat in terms of allowing the play to go forward. So they tried to give that responsibility to Raphael Onyedika. They wanted Onyedika to be on the ball more. And whenever Onyedika got the ball, they put pressure on him. Most of the time, he had to pass it back or he had to pass it sideways. Whenever he tried to hold the ball and try to turn, the Moroccans were pressing him too hard. Had 1 shot in the game, of course, wasn't a shot on target. It was only 2 shots that Nigeria as a whole had in the game. He still won 2 tackles, but he lost most of his duels. He only won 2 out of 12 duels that he contested in the game. So I have to say, Onyedika was not a good game. You know, he's probably, you know, just not a good game from Raphael Onyedika today. I like him. I mean, if you can't tell, I have his jersey on my wall as part of my collection. But today wasn't Onyedika's game at all. You know, and once he got that yellow card, the coach had to sub him off. The coach absolutely had to sub him off. You can't fault the coach for playing Raphael because Raphael was the person that everybody felt was the right replacement. You know, in fact, some people even before today have been saying he should be starting over in the. You know, Nigerian fans are so flip-floppy. Same people that were saying, why isn't he in the team? Onyedika should be playing. Now, Onyedika is rubbish. You know, I'm not going to go as far as insult him or, you know, but again, he would be the first to raise his hand up and say, yes, I know I did not have a good game today. Yes, I know I made mistakes today. It wasn't a good game from Raphael Onyedika. I'll give him a 6 out of 10 for today's game. Definitely not one of his better performances, but hopefully he does better in the future. And then going to the forwards, Ademola Lookman. Look, this is another player that the Moroccans just had a very, very good game plan for. Other than the shots that Lookman had, I think, in the 7th minute of the game, Lookman could barely find the ball in pockets of space. Every time Lookman touched the ball, there were two guys crowding him out, just pressing him, not letting him be able to link up, not letting him be able to turn. Lookman struggled today, not because he was just poor, but because the Moroccans played him very well. See, football at the highest level with top coaches becomes a chess match, becomes a tactical battle, a game of sections, of zones on the field. And today, Morocco just dealt with Ademola Lookman very, very well. They dealt with Lookman very, very well. I can't fault Lookman too much, but again, it wasn't his day today. He had our only shot on target. So I'll give him some credit for that, But other than that, he wasn't able to create any moment. He wasn't able to do much. He wasn't able to offer anything in attack. He wasn't able to link up with Osimhen. He wasn't able to link up going backwards with Iwobi, or Iwobi wasn't able to link up with him. The Moroccans they won that midfield battle. They won that midfield battle, and Lookman for me gets a 6 out of 10 today as well. Just not his game. And then Akko Adams in the attack. Akko Adams, man, Akko has been very good in this tournament so far. Very, very, very good. But again, today, it just did not work out. It just did not work out. Every touch that he had was either under pressure, was either a misplaced pass. Only 41% pass completion today. Most of Akko's passes were just misplaced, not going to the right player, didn't have any opportunities to score, didn't have any shot at all, couldn't complete the one dribble that he attempted. It just wasn't working. He was trying, sometimes going wide, sometimes trying to drop deep to link up the play. It just wasn't working. And again, I give credits to the Moroccans. They had a fantastic game plan for this. They knew that our game was very center of the park heavy, and they did not allow us to do anything in the center of the park. Akko, not a great game today. Honestly, was a bit surprised that he lasted 98 minutes. I would have thought that the coach would have subbed him off a little bit earlier. I'm honestly surprised that he lasted that long. But yes, Akko, I give Akko a 6 as well. A 6 as well. It wasn't a good game for Akko today at all. Victor Osimhen, our captain on the night, Victor Osimhen, played 118 minutes before going off. Also did not get a single shot. Fantastic work by the Moroccans. Did not get a single shot. Only 26 touches of the ball. Wasn't able to link up. Wasn't able to find space. Sometimes when he controlled the ball in the box with his chest, before he could bring it down, Agred is there. Another Moroccan is there pressing him, trying to link up with his teammates. Only completed 56% of his passing. I saw him do one or two good moments defensively. Of course, Osimhen from defending corner kicks is always the guy at the near post heading those corner kicks away. So he did a little bit of defensive work. But again, it wasn't a good game from Victor Osimhen. I disagreed with Real K earlier that said Osimhen is not a big game player. I wouldn't say Osimhen is not a big game player. This is a guy that has won league titles for his team. This is an African Player of the Year winner. I think that today, Osimhen was just played out of the game by the Moroccans. The Moroccans came with a very, very good game plan. Osimhen, for me, gets a 6.25. I don't think it was quite as bad as Akko, Lookman, or Onyedika, but of course, it wasn't a good game for Osimhen today. And for the substitutes, Simon came on in the 83rd minute. After coming on, didn't really do too much. It was more so playing as a defensive player. After we brought Simon on and then we switched to a traditional 4-2-4 or a 4-4-2, however you look at it, it was more so just a chasing game. We're chasing balls. We did not have that midfield outlet. Look, I understand why the coach might have done it. We were getting overrun in the midfield. We couldn't play to the center of the park, and maybe he thought we could exploit the wide areas. But again, when Simon came on and we went more into a wide kind of attack, I would have thought that Akko would have gone off and maybe an Ejuke, maybe a Chukwueze would have come on. But the coach left Akko on that right side and played Moses Simon on the left side. Simon did good work defensively. There was the time that he was faced off 1v1 defensively against Brahim Diaz, defended quite well. So I'll give Moses Simon maybe a 6.57 out of 10. I thought he did well, but didn't really have moments going forward. Fisayo Dele Bashiru came on and played 22 minutes after replacing Akko Adams. Again, was playing as an attacker from the right side quite a bit. Scored his penalty in the shootout, of course, but also didn't really have any moments to do much in the game. Only had 11 touches of the ball, couldn't really do much. Maybe you give him a 6.5 average. He didn't do bad, he didn't do good. And then for the other two substitutes, they didn't play enough to even give them any kind of rating. And then finally, Eric Sekou Shell, you've done a fantastic job throughout this tournament so far. But again, comment the moment, comment the man. And today the man was Walid Regragui of Morocco. Eric Shell, I thought, was out-tacticked, was out-coached, was out-maneuvered, was out-thought in the game. So Eric Shell, your setup initially, I agreed with, because that's what has been working for us. Fine. But then when things were going bad, Eric Shell wasn't really able to adapt and figure it out. That's the struggle. When things were not working for us, we really couldn't adapt and figure it out. And Eric Shell, this has happened now in our last two matches that we've lost. We settled in this game. We settled. You could see throughout extra time, the Super Eagles were very happy going to penalties. Morocco wanted to win in extra time. You could see we were very happy to go to penalties. And Eric Shell settled. He settled for penalties. Even though the last penalty shootout that we went was heartbreak, he settled and he believed that maybe this one could be different. But unfortunately for us, it was no different. And we fell to another penalty shootout defeat. Eric Shell, for this game, I'll give you a 6 out of 10. I felt like Walid Regragui got the better of you, was the better coach on the night, got his tactics right, set his team up well. I would have expected, because I was on live yesterday, and in my match preview that I did and I posted on YouTube before the game, I spoke about the way the Moroccans might play, and the thing they did today in terms of playing Iwobi out of the game, in terms of playing Lookman out of the game, are things that even I, as an untrained, I've never been a coach at a high level, I predicted them. I spoke about them. I said that these things will or potentially might happen. So if I can know that that's how Morocco might play, of course, Eric Shell knew that that's how they might play as well. So I would have expected that he would have had a plan. That, okay, if we cannot get Iwobi to play those passes, what is the plan? How are we going to advance our play? If we're under a lot of pressure, how are we going to play? And it just did not seem like we had a plan. We kept on doing more of the same. It wasn't working. The Moroccans were dominating. And then eventually we settled for penalties. And then we lost on penalties. I wouldn't say they did not practice penalties. I wasn't in training. We're not in their training. We can't know. I saw the press conference when they asked Eric Shell if the team was practicing penalties. He kind of just suggested that penalties was a game of luck, and maybe he wasn't really thinking too much about it. But they would surely have practiced penalties. Even if the coach doesn't tell them to practice, the players themselves, after training, they will just stay back, take some pens. They will surely have practiced penalties. So I can't say they did not practice pens. Again, we just lost. And honestly, the only bad penalty today was Samuel Chukwueze's penalty. The other penalty that we missed, Bruno's penalty, was not a bad pen. It was a good save by Yassine Bono. I know that, yes, in football, if you score your penalty, good penalty. If you miss your penalty, they'll say it's a bad penalty. But for the Bruno one, I thought he played it well. Bono was just very sharp to react and then stick a hand out and save it. So I think I wouldn't even put it down to practicing penalties, because practice penalty or not, what Chukwueze did was a choice. Whether you practice or not, that was a choice. Even if they call you that is watching this stream without practice and tell you to take penalty, nobody like that, you go take penalty. So that was not a situation of, oh, you practice or you do not practice penalty. Chukwueze just made a choice that he's going to step up to it very nonchalantly. And of course, if he scored it, cool, calm, collected. But he did not score it, and then he just looked very silly. It was such an easy save for Yassine Bono. And sometimes, players want to do these things and it doesn't quite work out. Even Yakubu, legend, here said it that himself, he has taken a penalty like that before and he missed it. So sometimes, players, something could just enter their head, just tell them, say, just walk up to it and just, remember when Lukman Panenka penalty when he was in Fulham back then? Was it Fulham or Leicester? Lukman has played a lot. I think it was probably Fulham that he Panenka one penalty in the 90th minute. That everybody was like, what on earth are you thinking? Sometimes players, how you picture it in your head, and then the outcome is not always the same thing. So yes, I wouldn't say it's the lack of practice for the penalty shootouts. It was just a bad penalty by Chukwueze, and of course a good save by Yasin Bono. But yes, if you want to share your thoughts on the game, if you want to complain, if you want to cry, if you want to big up the boys, if you just want to talk tactics, if you just want to talk to me, you can imagine how pained I am as well, so if you want to console me as well, I've been doing these streams every game. I've been posting videos. I've been working so hard throughout this AFCON. So I'm honestly sad that we're not going to end up. I predicted the final for us. I said we'll get to the final for the tournament. We didn't. Eric Shell has coached very, very well. However, we were not able to meet up to what we did at the last AFCON. I don't know how the Sports Commission and the NFF would interpret that. He has brought excitement. He brought goals. He brought attacking play. But we couldn't get to the final. We got to the final under Jose Peseiro. People criticize Peseiro for his style of play, but he got to the final. Are people going to criticize Eric Shaw for not getting to the final, or are they going to big him up for the style of play despite falling short in the semi-final? It will be interesting to see how the journalist interprets it. It will be interesting to see how the NFF, how the NSC interprets it. I know that for the people that have always been anti-Eric Shaw, for the ones that do not want, a Franco-Malian coaching the Super Eagles, this will be a field day for them. They'll be able to say, hey, look, I could not even get, some people would have fun with it. But I wonder what the general feeling would be. My personal opinion, in case you are wondering, keep the coach. My personal opinion. We need to trust the process. Yes, we did not achieve the goal, but we need to trust the process. The man has shown that we can play well. Maybe there are some tweaks that we need to fix so that we can play and beat the good teams like the Moroccos. But I think that they need to trust him. If we fire him and we bring somebody else, it's back to the drawing board. We are going to essentially take 10 steps back. We are going to rewind 1 year and then start to try and learn again. I remember there's an AFCON next year. AFCON, before they switch to 4 years. There's the one next year. Taking place in, is it Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, or something? So qualifiers will start not too long from now. Of course, after the World Cup, which we're not going to be. But I think that they should keep Eric Shell, trust him, give him the tools that he needs, give the team high-quality friendly matches when there's international windows, pay them their bonuses on time, give them conducive environments, and let's see what Eric Shell can do. Let him take us to the next AFCON. Let's see what he can do at the next AFCON. And then after the next AFCON, if you want to make a decision based on the result, then I can understand. But for now, I think that it would be a bad call if they let him go. I think if they let him go now, it would be a bad call. It would be a bad call. So yes, they should keep the coach, let him take us to the next AFCON, and then afterwards, we can see. If you want to join, the link has been posted. If you are watching on Instagram, if you are watching on Facebook, if you are watching on X, you need to go to YouTube to see the link. So if you're on Instagram and you're saying you want to join, go to YouTube to see the link. Go to YouTube to see the link, and then you can join the stream. That's where you can engage with us. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube if you want to join. Stop crying in the Instagram comments, because you that are shouting at me, you don't know me if I'm not happy. I thought me if I'm upset. I never chop today. We don't lose much. Yeah, you're not coming to shout at me in the comment section. So if you want to join, go to YouTube. You'll see the link, and I'll bring you on to share your thoughts. All opinions are welcome. But let me just quickly take some super chats before I bring on the first caller this evening. Thank you very much. Uche says, I observed that immediately the referee was given 50-50 to Morocco, the tempo dropped. So speaking about the referee again, I will say the refereeing was definitely not good. Definitely not good. We cannot deny that. It was definitely not good refereeing in this game. Another super chat from Real K. He says Akko was poor and should have been subbed off earlier. I said it, I agree. I was surprised that Akko lasted as long as he did, especially after we switched the formation. When we went wide, when we brought Simon on, I would have thought that maybe an Ejuke or a Chukwueze would have come on. But Akko played 98 minutes. It surprised me as well. I can't even lie about that. It surprised me as well. Definitely wasn't his best game. Ume Onyabo says, let's not be like the Algerians. Officiating was not great at all, but 2 shots in 2 hours was not good enough. I completely agree. I completely agree. Ref is not the reason why we lost. Was the ref bad? Yes. Did the ref cost us the game? No. He didn't give penalty. He did not stop us from attacking. He did not stop us from shooting. He made some bad calls, I agree. But it's not because of the ref that we lost. It's not because of the ref that we lost. So I agree with that comment. You shouldn't be like the Algerians. 2 shots, 1 shot on target the entire game. We were insulting Algeria that they didn't have a shot on target. Us, we only had one. And it was that Lukman one in like the 7th minute of the game. And it was an easy save for Bono. So it is what it is, man. We take the L to the chin. Let's be gracious in defeat. We go to the 3rd place match. Somebody said, nonsense. Why do we have to go to YouTube? Because YouTube is where we do the streams, is where we do the long form content. You even just did lucky say I still leave the stream on for Instagram. Normally I would have stopped the stream on Instagram by now. YouTube is where the streams, and I will tell you guys, in case maybe somebody's wondering, like the honest truth is because we're running a business and YouTube pays, Instagram does not pay. I'll put it in plain terms for you. If I have 1 million people that watch my content on Instagram, I get $0 at the end of the day. Zero. How am I supposed to continue paying people salaries? How am I supposed to continue running the channel? YouTube makes sense. So yes, if you don't want to go to YouTube, that's your prerogative. But if you want to join, you have to go to YouTube. If you truly support us and support what we do, then going to YouTube will not be a chore for you. But yes, let me not get distracted by those people. The link is in the comments. The link is in the comments. Zizobi, welcome. You are muted. Unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, the thing is that I think they have tried, these guys, but when you go into me, some people don't know me. I play football. I know how all these things work, especially when you are playing at somebody's home. You're supposed to make up your mind that the free will be against us. Let's play our ball. You don't expect. When I see Lukman crying all the time, it will make your morale to go down. What you will need to shut them down is to score the goal first. You see that 45 minutes is where you need to play your ball. You don't need referee. You don't need to look at referee face. Once you start looking at referee face, the referee will never leave hosting country and side you. It will never work. Even if you are playing World Cup, the same thing will happen. I don't know why, but maybe they think it's because he's a Ghanaian. They will never favor you. You need to play your game. I don't know why they are all of them everything they keep on as in surrounding referee. It's not making any sense. Even the one who played in Cote d'Ivoire last time, the same thing happened. You don't wait for referee to help you. They will not help you. Just play your ball. Especially our front three, Akko, Lukman, and the Adams. Especially Lukman. Every ball, apart from the one he took in the first half, almost all the ball he got in the middle of that pack, he lost all of them. Almost all of them he lost. When you are playing this kind of, and the tempo, these people are, their fans is like giving them strength to push, to attack. When you are playing this kind of ball, that's why I like Mikel. Shield the ball. Shield the ball. Let them commit that foul instead of you committing the foul. You have to have confidence on yourself. Control the ball. Not every ball you, especially Onyedika, is lazy. Yeah? You're not even guiding your ball. You're just playing as if you are playing a Benin Republic. Yeah. Oh, there's a ball he got. You're supposed to, but as soon as you get the ball, 2 to 5 seconds, you make decisions straight away. You don't need to think. Yeah? That is what kill our game. When we need to make decision, especially when you are in the attack, you don't need to think 2 times. If you see somebody, give the person simple pass. You don't need to slow down. Once you are slowing down, they will cover you and take the ball away from you. The free will not help you. Yeah, that is what kill our game. We are not releasing ball when we are supposed to release the ball. And the people that are giving that pass, people that are receiving the pass, like Klukuman and Adam, they keep on losing the ball. They can't control the ball with their feet. If you can't control the ball with your feet and face your opponent, how will you create chances?
But don't you think that was because of the kind of pressure, the press from Morocco?
That is what I'm trying to say to you. Most of the pass they give to them, they can't even control the pass. They as soon as the ball hit their leg, the ball will travel to Morocco player. They can't shield the ball. That is what I'm trying to say. They can't shield the ball. Any ball they go, the ball will just you see that they control the ball went 2 meters away from them. You can't play ball like that. Your leg have to be a magnet. Once the ball hit your leg, it have to be a magnet on your leg. As soon as your leg magnet the ball, you now turn and face the person. Because if you don't control the ball, you won't be able to face the person. As soon as they give them pass, they collect. It's not they give them pass, they collect it from us. You can't play. You can't play ball like this. And another thing, you in the middle of the park, in the first half, I was saying, why Ajayi is shaking? Yeah, nobody is close to you. Just play the ball. If you don't want to play to somebody in front of you, play to Bassi. Assuming we have somebody like Bassi in the middle, yeah, or Nigeria would have won this game in the first half. Assuming we have somebody like Bassi, yeah. See the way Bassi is playing his game. He's not even looking for referee to side him. Is the one referee will blow for you is the one everybody know is too obvious. All this small one, he would like to give it to them. That is what Bassi realized after collecting that yellow card. You don't cry. Play your ball. Allow them to commit that foul. You understand? The left wing. See the way Bruno was playing. Diaz couldn't play. Even Hakim, it's just because they were 2 on him. But the guy, he tried. I was shaking when 2 of them were attacking. But the guy match on them very well. He's not even giving that, especially that Diaz, space to play any ball. As soon as Diaz is touching the ball, he just hammer it on him straight away. And that guy was frustrated because he doesn't allow him. The only chance he got was in that first half, the one he placed on the other second bar of the post. Yeah, this thing, if you learn how to play host country, even when they play us, they don't. You see, Cameroon, when Cameroon play us in 2000, the way they play us, that is the way to play host country. You don't play them ball. Let the ball speak for you. Not everything. Referee. What is referee? Referee will not favor us. Anybody that is saying that referees the referee did not do nothing. It's we that we do not play our game the way you're supposed to play it. It's simple as that. Once you are playing, okay, when you go to when most of them are playing and in a big league. They are going to somebody's home to play match. When you go there, you're looking for the referee to support you. Play your ball. Once you hammer out first goal, second goal, third goal, the fans, everybody will be going their home.
All right. I can see the passion. I can see the upset, the disappointment in you. But
Sorry, brother. The reason why I'm disappointed is because the first one has happened to us, and we have not learned. This is the second one. I'm sure third one will still happen. They have not learned. I said Onyedika. I said it in the Smith. Onyedika is not a marker. That guy is a follow player. Onyedika is not a marker. Once he mark, he collect yellow card or red card. It's not a marker. Even to pass ball sometimes, see the way he's moving it's like his body is too heavy for him. When you are playing ball, play ball with the passion that this is my ball. See Bassi, see Bruno, see Bright. Play ball. This is my ball. This is my game. He's just playing as if oh, these people want to kill me. Let me pass you. Let me pass you. They want to kill me. You can't play ball like that. Even when you are taking on the on Moroccan players, it's not even he don't even have that confidence that I will push these people. I will push them. I will make them to commit foul against me. I will give them yellow card. It's not playing like that. They're just playing. Oh, I don't want to injure me. We miss Ndidi. We miss Ndidi, to be honest.
I have to let you go just because there are many people that are waiting. But thank you.
All right, no problem, brother. No problem.
We'll see better days in the future. No worry.
Yeah.
All right. Zizo, very disappointed. I understand you, bro. I understand you completely. I understand the frustration. Let me bring on Alex T. Alex T, they watch me for TV. Okay. I think Alex T is probably not ready. I'll bring on Sam. After Sam, I'll take Klexi. Sam, welcome, Sam.
Hi,
how is? I hope you've calmed down a little bit. I'm good.
How are you?
I'm good. We can hear you. Go on.
Can you hear me? Yes. So first, I like your analysis. I think you're a little bit emotional. I know it's very painful, right? I'm kind of exactly.
Sam, we're having issues with your internet, Sam. If you're able to leave and come back, I will try to bring you back on, but we cannot really hear you. You're breaking up. So Sam, please, if you can just leave and come back, I'll bring you back on. But yeah, the connection is not quite good. Alex T.
Hey, AyoT, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm alive. Glory be to God.
Hey, man, I was for first, man. Even my 7-year-old daughter came from school, man. She was ready to watch the game, and she was like, "Hey, this little girl in my class keeps saying Nigeria, Morocco, Nigeria, Morocco." My son came from the school bus. I went to pick them. He was watching the game on his laptop. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm watching Morocco game." Like, really? My kids were today like on for Nigerian game. They were so disappointed. I'm disappointed for them because this is their first ever game. They sat down and watched Nigeria, and then we lost because they were like, "Oh, the other time World Cup qualifier, we lost again today again." I was like, "Oh yeah," but I don't know. Do they actually give tickets to like fan club or like? It's like there was no Nigerian in the stadium.
I mean, there were a few of them. I mean, at least
Yeah, it was like sprinkled, man. It was like sprinkled.
A few, but it was sprinkled. You know, it's always like that. You know, the host nation.
Yo, this Morocco, they came to, man, I think they bought the ticket immediately. They know that they were qualifying for semifinals.
And then some people were reselling. There were some reports that even people in the Nigerian authorities, apparently, some people were. I think I saw OJB made a post saying that some Nigerian delegates were selling the ticket for like 5 times the original
Really?
original price. That's what some people were saying, you know. So
Wow. Because because I was listening to Football Fan Tribe, they were like, they can't even find ticket to buy. But that
it's
was horrible, man. If
always like
no
that.
fan club, no music, no
You have,
Nigerian fan, no music playing.
yeah.
I mean, Morocco, they came to play, man.
Most of the time, honestly, with all these tournaments, you just have to like take a chance and just buy it in advance, believing that your team would
Yeah,
get there.
true.
If
That's
you don't,
true.
if you
That's
don't buy
true.
it
But
on time, it can be difficult.
yeah, but clearly though, we can see that we missing Didi.
Mm.
And today just confirm our sentiment about Onyedika. Is not. I thought he wasn't going to come in back to the second half.
Mm.
I thought they were just going to change him and bring somebody else. I don't know who, Toshiku, whatever they want to bring. But he was just, I won't say anything bad. I won't say it's terrible. But today, it just confirmed our sentiment that he's not to replace Ndidi. Because he was sluggish. He can't pass the ball. He can't. There were two times they passed in front of him. Like they just passed in front of him. He wouldn't even mark. And then the yellow card, man, I was so mad, man, that he came back. And then you change your Yedika and you bring Simon. Everybody already knew that we need two midfielders, two defensive midfielders that can hold the ball, mark, so that Iwobi can play. Iwobi couldn't even step past our line because there is no Ndidi. Onyedika wasn't doing it. And then we switched back to Pesoro style, the two midfielders with Onyeka and Iwobi. It's not going to work. They had our. I mean, I got it. The referee will not even let us go forward. They keep calling, and calling. But play your game. Forget about the referee. Yeah, the referee can mess up the game, but just play again. Stop complaining. Every single thing, just play. Sometimes I saw Yedika, he will leave the ball where he's supposed to mark complaining. Everybody's complaining. I was like, shit. The coach got it wrong, man. He got it wrong. I think he could have taken out Moses Simon. I mean, don't bring Moses Simon that time. Take Onyedika out, and then take Akko, which was a terrible day for him. It was terrible for him. He couldn't even trap the ball. He couldn't even pass the ball. I thought he was bringing Chukwueze. This is the type of game I thought Chukwueze should have come in.
Mm.
And at least, I know he won't mark and all those things, but I know you can hold the ball and dribble one or two people. There's no way Demola and Osime will get the ball when they already shut down Alex Iwobi. He can't get the ball. There's no way. I mean, he was just terrible, man. I mean, Eric Sheld, every time we get to a big game, when he needs to make some technical changes, he falls. He don't know what to do. It's like there's nothing to do. It doesn't work. The game doesn't work. Change your formation. Bring other people. I mean, I could have even want Educate to come in this game. It would have been better. At least let him hold the ball, try to dribble. Moses Simon came in, it was still the same Moses Simon. He wants to dribble on the side, and then you see three people marking in. And he can't even come back and pass the ball. He still wants to go. Everybody knows Moses Simon. They know him. This is what he does. He doesn't cut back. He doesn't come back. He wants to keep going, even though when they mark him. So it was terrible. I mean, he helped in the defense a little bit. Right. I mean, Bruno shut down Hakimi and Ibrahim Diaz today. So I give it to him. He did very well. He shut them down. Ibrahim Diaz was nobody. Hakimi tried to do it. There was Bassi. Bassi is leaving Fulham for sure. It might not be this January, but in the summer, definitely Bassi is leaving. I mean, I didn't even care if he got a red card today. That dude is a complete baller. You know, when they say people improve, Bassi is one player that have improved. He has like improved tremendously. I mean, he's going to move for sure. I don't know, maybe because of his age, but Bassi will move. But Erichel get it wrong. And then you bring in Chukwueze. I even saw before the penalty when they were trying to pick. Chukwueze was there laughing, playing around. Like, I don't know if they already told him he was going to play. He was just playing. I was watching. I was like, why is Chukwueze so excited? Is it because they picked him or is just the normal Chukwueze? And Chukwueze just good there. My daughter was like, I could have catch the ball. Man, that was a back pass. I was telling my buddy, he was on the phone. I was like, we trust Sterling Uwabali, but that goalkeeper, Bono, is a good goalkeeper when it comes to penalty. I said, he's a good goalkeeper. Bruno won. I couldn't fault him. He just didn't have a little bit patient because Bruno already moved, and the guy just said, "Hey, let me just stretch my hand. Maybe my hand will touch the ball." You know, Bruno one was a good penalty. He just wasn't patient enough to just wait a little bit, maybe 2 seconds. It would have just been empty post because the guy had gone. He was gone. But man, look, I don't know what I don't want to be a sole loser, like you say. The referee, let's go play the third place again. Maybe another. If we go feel beat, bring another bronze, come back out. But man, I was pained though. I'm not gonna lie, you man. I was pained. My kids were pained. The first time they sat down to watch Nigerian game and we lost. I don't know, man. I know if you won't come, but I say I must talk.
So I appreciate you for coming. I mean, we're all
I say I must support my brother, man. But hey, man, we played well, but I don't think Erichel will stay. He already said it in last press conference that people are watching. Other teams are watching. I saw that. I heard that when he was saying other people are watching. He's not gonna stay because we're not going to World Cup. Nations Cup is the next 2 years. I mean, why stay when somebody will come and want to take you to World Cup or something? Why he's not gonna stay. So I know NFF might keep him, but I don't think he will stay. There's World Cup coming. There's a lot of countries that will pick him up.
Some people are saying he might leave for Tunisia.
Are they going to fire their coach, Tunisia?
I'm not sure.
They have a good coach. They haven't been losing game. So, I mean, why would they fire their coach? I don't think he will go to Tunisia. It might be another African country. Maybe it might be, I don't know. It might be another African. Could be one of these small countries. But he's not going to stay. I know for sure. You already know. I can see with his body language.
No, but Tunisia already hired a coach. Sorry, they actually just hired a coach after.
Okay, so it's not going to go to Tunisia.
Yeah, they already hired a coach.
I don't think it's going to go to Tunisia. I mean, they have a good coach.
And they've hired
they hire a coach immediately after the AFCON.
Yes, they sacked their coach and then they hired a new one.
Oh, then he's not going to go to Tunisia now. But I know from his body language, there's a lot of emotions. He doesn't want to show it. But I'm just thinking that there's something going on that we don't really know. I think he will leave. He probably have some offer already. He's a good coach. I would like him to stay, but what is he staying for the next 2 years?
Manu is looking for coach. So
anybody's that level, sir. Anybody's that level. Manu will not sign him. I beg, no talk. I beg. Make Manu people not come for you. No, he never reached that level. I think some coaches are country-based coaches. Some people are club side. I don't think he wants to coach club side. I think he wants to stay on the countryside because to stand some fans, man, as a coach, easy, man. Especially if you go for EPL, man, they go finish them. But now, AyoT, man, thank you, man. It was a sad day though, but hey, we move, man. We move.
All right,
we move. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so that's Alex. They said it's first time that his children sat down like this to watch match. Nice Super Eagles can't lose. Very, very unfortunate situation, but no. Sit them down next time that we're playing against a smaller team. Let them not start with AFCON semi-final against Morocco. But yes, okay. Klexi, welcome.
Yeah, it was I don't know. I don't feel bad. I don't know, and I think it's because my expectation has been met. I just wanted to see, and I was saying to people in my group that even if we lose, either way, I just wanted to see Nigeria play good football again. And I've seen it. I'm happy because I don't think this can be as worse as the DR Congo. That disappointment from the DR Congo game, like any other thing in this tournament for me, wouldn't have been as bad as that, missing out on the World Cup and losing out on DR Congo. But I think it's still the same thing. And that Erichel, he has a good starting point. But I think every good coach needs to have, which I won't say he's not, he is a good coach, but he needs to have a good plan B and a good in-game analysis. Even me, that I always work on the technical aspect of the game. I could think of 3 or 4 things in that game that he could have done that I felt would have changed it. No, and I didn't see him trying to do any of it in terms of Hello, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm asking you what are some of the things that you think he should have done?
Yeah, I think this is it. Smith analyzed technical analysis when he was talking about the game, about how Morocco played. They played the same way against Cameroon, and they played the same way. A diamond press in the midfield to choke the midfield. They play 3-4 at the back, 5 diamond shape. 3 people put on the key players that hold the ball for you. They rush into the key players such that you don't have any output. And then what that means is that they get the ball quickly, and because they already have 3 players, on the ball at that moment, it means that they can easily run out and attack quickly. But what is happening in that game is that there is an overload in the middle and an high press in the middle. You don't play through an overload. You don't play through an overload and a high press. You move it. You play to move it. You don't play to it. And that was what AyoT was trying to do in the first half, and we kept losing the ball. So when you want to move it, either you, at some point when we got control, either you slow the game down. Option 1, you slow the tempo down by doing sideways passing with your 3 players. So either you move your goalkeeper as the 3rd person if he's good on the ball, or you ask one of the DMs to drop in. So 3 at the back, pass sideways, and then a fast switch to the width. So you use your width. We had space on the width, and sometimes you will see that Osayi will try to, when he gets the ball, because he's already gone to the width, he tries to beat one player and push forward. That's an attacking option, but they weren't doing it effectively because those link-up pass, when we eventually beat those presses at the back, when we get to beat the presses and we get to the space behind their press, we are not doing anything with the ball. We could not do anything at all with the ball because of the last passes. We were too sluggish and we're too slow to drop that last pass quickly. All those crosses that will go to Osimhen was not coming. So option 1 would have been width. So you move around the play. Either you slow the tempo down and pass around, and then once you see there's a space, you quickly switch the pass by long width. Option 2 is to play the same formation you started, but you go long. You then play a 3-2-5. So you leave the 2 people as a decoy in their high press, but once the 2 center backs, Basi pass to maybe Iwobi as a high press, they will draw in towards Iwobi. Iwobi gives it back to Basi. Basi has a long pass. He switches to the wing. So that'll be the full backs pushes up. So you push more towards their own nets. So you go long towards where Osimhen is. And the moment Akko was, if he was going to do that, the moment Akko was not in the game, bring in Onuachu. It's simple. 2 top strikers, load the ball to it, go past the press. Let them go and deal with the ball in their half. Before they will recycle it back to the front, we have the chance to win it back. So a 3-2-5, which means you go wing, go long, above it. We're supposed to do the same thing against DR Congo. They took the midfield from us, and it looks like once they take the midfield from AyoT, it doesn't have a second backup. But we have, this time around, the players on the bench could do a bit better job. Onuachu can definitely hold the ball better than Tolu. So it's a simple 3-2-5. 2 strikers, push the wingers, Lookman and Akko, even if you don't want to, even if you leave Akko and Osimhen right in the middle. Lookman stays on one side, the other person, then the 2 fullback push up, Bruno, and just load the ball to them. When they lose the ball, they move back quickly and then cover up. Because we were getting the ball back. When we lose the ball in the midfield, we were trying to get the ball. Basi was up for it. Shemi Ajayi was up for it, and it was good. But the 3rd thing that he could have done, basically, was just to do, that was the one I just described as a vertical pass. They call it vertical pass to the striker. Just do a vertical pass to the striker. The striker drops the ball down to the wingers. Or you do a diagonal pass to the wingers directly. But you have to shift your formation to a overload. You also overload them and leave where they want to leave for you in the middle. But we always wanted to still pass through the middle. But the problem was, even when we then beat their press with Iwobi and all of those players, we were not doing anything with it. There was a time AyoT had the ball to either pass a true ball to Osimhen. I don't know if you remember that point where we actually beat their press and we were right. It was so sluggish that they collected the ball back. There was another one that Lookman already almost beat their press, but before he could release the pass, the guy came from, that was, if he was even attentive to the game, that was a good free kick. Because the guy got the ball, he should have shielded the ball. A free kick in that middle position was good. And if, in case we didn't know, Morocco's strength attacking wise is set pieces. Nigeria is also good attacking wise set pieces. Morocco is also quite poor when it comes to defending set pieces. And I think, which is why we should have also gone long. We should have gone long and also commit them. Mali did the same thing. Mali, their number 9 was who drew the foul. Sinayoko drew the foul against him where they yeah. So we should have just gone long, get Osimhen in the game, or get any guy that can control the ball in the game, and would have been able to beat past it. And I didn't see any of our wingers hugging the touchline. None of them were trying to hug the touchline. Bright will have the ball, Bruno will have the ball. There's no direct line to it. What the Moroccans did was they would do as if they left the middle. They had their 5 players in the middle. And once our midfield, our wingers, what's the name? Our fullbacks get the ball, because that's where they left the space for. Their own fullback then rushes you. One of the midfielders lead that press and pushes. So you have 2 people on our fullback that will concede the ball. I think we are better ball players. I thought that was why we were blaming Cameroon, to say Cameroon felt like they were not better ball players. But I thought we had better ball players to actually play around that, especially from the side. But I guess one thing I'm happy about is our fullbacks did a good job. I think we didn't give them that space that they required as well, in terms of being able to punish us as much. Nwabali was good today. I don't know why you would play. I was giving. I don't know why you give people false hope in terms of our players. You give people false hope that you are ready to go to penalties, and then you get to the penalty shootout and you play unconvincing penalty kicks. I know people were saying, I know you were saying that Bruno's PK was okay. No, you wanted to Panenka the ball. It was a bad PK. If you're going to go middle,
it wasn't a Panenka now.
He felt like it was cheap. Go and check it again. If you're going to play to the middle, I play forward. I play PKs. You blast it. Go and watch Salah. These things are simple principles. If you want to pick PK, you don't go down. Keeper will always catch it, and that's why Morocco lost that PK. If you're going to go to the side, make sure you fake it so that you put it anywhere in the side you will go. The keeper has to go the wrong way. But if you are thinking that you don't care whether the keeper goes where you are going to go, you put it mid-range or high. Mid-range or high, which means training the PK, you must be playing it like 5-6 times every time. The kick from Morocco tells you about it. Nwabali will go, that's 2 kicks. Hakimi and that other one. Nwabali will go there. Even if he goes there, he will not catch it. That is people who train for penalty shootout. You put it wide, or if you are going to go to the middle because you know the keeper will drive, you do not. Panenka is like, you have to be quick and fast. Even if you don't Panenka the ball.
See, I agree with you. Normally, if you are playing it in the middle, you blast it down.
You blast.
I agree.
It felt like a chip.
I don't think
it was up.
I think it was just not powerful enough. I don't think it was chipping.
Well, maybe, but if you see the trajectory of the ball, it went up. The ball went up, and it was slow.
I've only watched it once. I
go and watch it again. You will see. I watched it again. I just went back to watch it again and to see maybe I was wrong about the way. But the thing went, the trajectory of the ball was so. Panenka is the type of ball that goes slow and up, as if you're chipping the goalkeeper in the middle. So that's why Bono could the time. There was no effort and there was no shot in it. It was a poor PK as far as I am concerned, PK wise. And the same thing for Chukweze's ball. It was a terrible PK. The run up. There's a reason why. I think it was overconfident. It was too overconfident and lackadaisical in coming to that point. There's a reason why there's a run-up in a penalty shootout. Either you are a very good PK taker that you send it to the side. Just a minute, sorry. And either you're a very good PK taker and you know what you're doing, or basically you make a run-up. Run-ups destabilize the goalkeeper sometimes. There's a reason why you have to do something to throw the goalkeeper off before you could kick the ball. So I think overall, we need to, Shane needs to work on in-game tactics, like have a way, they press your ball from the middle. You like to play from the middle, but teach your players to play around situations sometimes. And I think we would have gotten a good job. But for me, it was a good game. They played better than us. And I think you were right. We were outclassed. The same thing we did to Algeria, where we stiffened them out, is exactly what they did to us. But I just wonder how someone like Smith-Lai, myself, or even some of you guys could see it, and we knew how they play, and we said it, and they could not do anything about it. I'll tell you, if you watch on Youth Prime, the 96 USA 94, the documentary they were doing, the final against Argentina, Westerhoff told Taribo West, Taribo West said he told him that, see, the Argentines will play through the middle, is a decoy. They will go to the wing. It's from the wing they will now launch the main attack and score.
The first goal Argentina scored, he said the first goal was exactly the way the coach analyzed it for him. And he had to wake up. He then told you see, and then I had to wake up and then stop it from happening again. That is it. So there's something you should expect, even if you falter in the first 10, 15 minutes, thinking maybe they would change plan, but you see that actually they did not change plan. Then you just signal to your boys, plan B, something like that. I didn't think we came with a plan B. We wanted to exert dominance in the middle by showing that, but those boys, there's fan. That is why I would come back to the ref, because to exert dominance in the middle, you have to be sure that the left will allow certain tackles and certain battles to free flow. So
I want to cut you off quickly because I went to go and look for the penalty shootout again. So the Bruno pen, I disagree with you. It wasn't a Panenka. It was worse than I thought it was when I watched it live. It wasn't a good penalty. Bruno, in fact, was not taking it to the middle. He was actually taking it to the side that Bono went towards. It's just that he did not put enough power on it, so it wasn't. Normally, if you are taking it to the side, like you said, you are going for the side netting. You are playing it with so much pace that even if that goes right, he cannot get it. So Bruno was actually it was like an in-swinger with his, inside of his left foot, was taking it to that side. He just didn't put enough power. So Bono actually outdove the shots. And
but if that range, I would rather, I would even hope that he's playing it to the middle than to that range, because that range is a terrible range. That range,
it wasn't a good penalty, because if it was central,
no, that's exactly. I thought in my head, I just figured it was a terrible penalty.
If it was wide, it was not wide enough. So it was. I thought it was. So when I watched it live, I didn't think it was this bad. But now that I'm watching the video,
no, it's bad. Both of them, their penalty was bad, and I don't know why. This would have been easier if Chukwueze would have won it if Chukwueze had scored, because you don't get an advantage in the penalty shootout and lose it almost immediately. You needed that. Scoring that one would not have the pressure on the subsequent Moroccans. Meanwhile, in their house, so that pressure would have helped to our advantage. Losing it improves their confidence, and that was one of the things that our own undoing. I know we couldn't have gotten that advantage and let it go like that. And the same thing happened against DR Congo actually, and we got a few advantage. We threw it off, and then they kept carrying on with that momentum. But I think overall in this tournament we've achieved what I think is a good showing. They probably need to leave Erichel for another 1 year, the next AFCON, before, I think, if they can. Somebody was saying if they can afford to pay him anyway, but it is what it is. It's a good game overall. I don't know why I don't feel too sad. Maybe because there's a level of sadness you would have had before that subsequent sadness would not feel much to you anymore, as it is. So I think that's why it is. But overall, we were outclassed, I would say, to be fair. And the right team deserve to be in the final.
All right. Thank you very much, Klexi. Always nice hearing you talk about these things. Hopefully better in the future. Thank you very much, Klexi. So yes, I haven't watched that Bruno penalty again. I take it back a little bit. It was a bad penalty. It was not central. It was not wide. It was in that gray area. And then Bono even already outdove the penalty, and I was like, oh damn, the ball is behind me. And then it was a good save in the end, but it was not well struck. And obviously Bruno, I saw him, apologizing to the fans after the game and everything. So he knows that he messed up there. But still better than a lackadaisical effort. Still better than, sometimes you can strike the ball bad. Even Igamane missed penalty. So sometimes you can have a bad strike, but when you go just feeling very cool and then you miss, it's one of those things. See, you go there, if you do very cool, step over them Balotelli type penalties, and you score it, aura. But when you miss it, everybody's looking at you like, guy, are you okay? And that's what happened to Chukwueze. He missed it today. I know he probably felt confident, but it will be interesting to see if Iwobi gives us vlog for today's game, but we'll watch out for that one. Let me bring Sam back on, hopefully.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, much better. Hi. Welcome.
Yeah. So I'll be very quick. Two things. First, like this thing happened before in Nigeria, so I'm not so worried about Chukwueze. I watched Chukwueze. He actually, maybe he didn't put enough power, but he actually plays the penalty very well. Not that the goalkeeper more experience chose his side and he just played it. But that penalty, watch it again. Chukwueze's penalty was not a bad penalty because he was trained the government and he felt unserious. It was actually a good penalty, but he didn't have enough power to place the penalty. if the goalkeeper had goes in that direction, that would have been a very good penalty. But let's do that. Now, you see the other corner that just scored, he was on point. But there's something about Eric Shell. I don't think Eric Shell is my ideal Super Eagles kind of coach, and I'll tell you why. I am not trying to hold brief for Nigerian coaches, right? I remember when Eguavon coached us, the last Nations Cup Eguavon coached us. Eguavon played.
Sorry to cut you off.
What was against that team?
Sorry,
Two things were against that.
Sam, sorry, I'm going to cut you off very quickly because what you said about that Chukwueze penalty, it was not well placed at all. It was very similar to the Bruno one. It was very similar to the Bruno one.
Okay.
It wasn't in the corner.
Okay.
But yeah, go on. Sorry to cut you off.
Okay, so I remember when Eguavon last time he coached us, right? In the Nations Cup, one thing that stood against us was it was a very tricky game. We lost Iwobi. Iwobi came in, got a red card. We played 10 men down, and then obviously we did not have this kind of team. This team was actually better if Eguavon had this kind of team. Now, the difference between coaches that played in the 94, Nigeria could play in two directions. We could play from the middle and we could play from wings. If you watch the Nigerian 94 squad, we always had like 2 game plans, right? We could play from the middle and then we could play from wings. Sometimes we play the likes of the head. We bring in the headmaster, but we want to play from the middle. We pull out headmaster, we want to play from the wings. Now, if you notice Eric Shell, like what I said, is a one-sided coach. In today's game, like what the other caller said, 2 things any coach would have done is smart coach. These guys were choking us from the middle because they were playing all their balls from the middle. So what do? You make them go wide. What you do? You bring in a lot of the Chukwueze, let him play to the right, Lookman go to the left, and then you know what you do? You are playing Iwobi. Just take Iwobi, put Iwobi in that middle, and play 2 holding midfielders behind him. So what you've done is that you've opened the wings. Iwobi can run light. You've opened the wings, and then you have 2 wingers that will open the game for spaces for the likes of whoever striker. Even if you were playing out as a central 9 or you were playing Victor Osimhen central 9, we have spaces. But what we keep bringing the balls into the middle that was already choked up. So what you start doing is wing play, and we have players that are fast. Lookman is very fast. Chukwueze is very fast. Hold the ball, take the ball to wing. So what you do is that you just open the defenders, and then there is space in the middle for Iwobi, and then you have 2 central midfielders that will always win the ball and take it back to the wings. That was what the coach should have done different, but he kept playing from the middle. Akko is not a winger. So when Akko tries to get the ball in the wing, the next thing is thinking. If it was a very smart winger, he will hold the ball, he'll do some tricks. Yes, you can win some games like that, but have, like he said, a plan B. I don't like to say Eric Shell is not there. He's okay. He's an okay, but he's not a top coach for Super Eagles, because only a top coach that will make those kind of tactical. You call them tactical changes. You change your formation in these guys are checking out from the middle. Okay, play the game wide. Remember the days of West Ham. The next thing you have an Amunike, you have a Finidi. Then you have a Daniel Amokachi that plays behind a Yekini, and then you play Olise and Okocha. That's it. And Amokachi was playing most like a 10, and then you open. When time they did that, you found out that the wings are open. Then who did they sacrifice? So either you sacrifice the Siasia or you sacrifice a Thompson Olia. You kind of play Thompson Olia to play Amokachi, play from the middle. And that's why Eric Shell, he's done well, he's okay, but he's not a top coach. He's not for me, top coach. Get a coach like Emmanuel Menike, a coach that has played under Westhoff, because we played our best football under Westhoff. Westhoff had like 2 or 3 tactics to win in, right? Play under Westhoff, play coaches. Emmanuel Menike is very experienced. Bring back Olise. To me, Olise is another very good coach. They didn't give him time. Olise is very tactical. Today, Eric Shell should have a tactical coach. Morocco read us like
did you say bring back Sunday Olise?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Bring back Sunday Olise. If you watch the time Olise was coach, yes, he had fracas with players, a very back coach. But if you see in terms of technicality, I was watching the match and hearing when he was talking about technicalities, the kind of game of today, like what the Moroccan coach did. They already studied Nigeria and they know that we play from the middle. If you notice, all Iwobi's passes were blocked at the middle. You know why? Because once we hold the ball, they know Iwobi will not go wide. They know he will put that ball in the middle. So, like, they choke the middle because they already know how Iwobi is going to play. So, what a good coach does is that we are not using the wings. I look at Algeria, I know what they do. They win the ball at the middle and they go to the wings. Anytime they go to the wings, they open the middle. You know, if you watch the way they play like this. When they win the ball at the middle, they go to the wings. and then they open us space. It's just that our defenders were very, very disciplined. But imagine if we're doing the same thing and making that the arc. They would have in this game. Unfortunately, coach is not a tactical coach. I keep saying it. I think Alexia, people are not, he's not a tactical. He's a good coach.
You can have criticism of Eric Shell, which you are entitled to, but Sunday will say is not the solution. You know, there's no word that Sunday.
No, I said like a solution.
I'm just saying there's no word that Sunday says name should even be coming up in this conversation.
Bro,
it's a lot easier to
be
talk
honest with you
than to coach tactics. Even we are talking tactics, but can we go and execute in a game situation like that? It's a lot easier to watch it on TV. And Sunday saying Sonny says best position is where he is right now as a point and as a commentator.
Bro, do you know the quality? Do you know the quality of? Let's be very honest. In Africa, top 5 countries in Africa, Nigeria has one of the best squad in top 5 countries in Africa.
These are best squads.
Top 5 countries. Nigeria has one of the best squad. Top 5.
We have a good squad for sure. We do.
Bring a rubbish coach to Nigeria. A rubbish coach. A coach that doesn't know football in Nigeria. He's a dummy. Pardon my language, doesn't know anything in football. Just bring him to Nigeria. He will perform. The kind of talent Nigeria has.
We've seen Guavon has tried. Finidi George has tried. So you cannot say that because clearly they've not been performing.
Finidi, let me tell you what's happened with all this Finidi brouhaha. A lot of people don't know what happened with that Finidi stuff. Now, for me, I don't feel Finidi would have been the best person to coach in Nigeria because after in his career, Finidi has not done anything coaching. He was just an assistant coach. In short, a Joseph Yobo would have even been better. I was conversing for Amunike because you know what I was conversing for Amunike? Amunike has coached the under-17s, the likes of Osimhen and Chukwueze were all his boys. He's been exposed, he's done a lot of courses, and he's a very good coach. The way he plays, his mentality, the way he plays. Now, people are always saying, oh, Nigerian coaches are not very good. Okay, fine. Get a quality coach. For me, Eric Shea, he coached Mali last Nations Cup.
No, see, I have to let you go now. But again, I will say
Eric Shea has to go.
No, see, if you
Eric Shea has to go for me.
Is not a
Nigerian quality.
He's not a superstar coach. But the people that you are calling instead, that's what is throwing me off. Because even if you want to criticize Eric Shea, you cannot be criticizing Eric Shea and be talking about Amunike, be talking about Sunday Olise. No, Eric Shea is better than these guys. So if we want to criticize him, then you talk about coaches that are better, at a higher level than him. You know, not the ones that have been there, done that, and have done worse. And they are now claiming that this will.
Let me give you a scenario.
Amunike has tried to.
May God rest his soul.
Amunike was a hard hand in the MPFL. He didn't do well there, so there's no evidence that he can do anything better than what Eric Shea is doing. And Eric Shea has
club, but you know that club coaching is different.
I understand, but then at the same time, Eric Shea has been the best coach that we had since Jose Pesero left the job. That's the reality. So we need to cut him some slack. We need to cut him some slack. I mean, I understand that.
Okay, let me.
What happens? Yeah, 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Yeah, let me know. I won't disturb you. 1
minute. Okay, I want to take us back to when Sivikeshi won the Nations Cup. One of the key games we played in that Nations Cup was when we played Ivory Coast, right? That was the game that Ivory Coast had the best team, they had a good coach, they had everything going for them. Do you know one thing that Keshi did in that game? I saw West Half rejuvenated. You know what Keshi did in that game? Cote d'Ivoire, they were very good. Their midfield wings, they were good. But he did one particular trick, one player. He choked the midfield, the 3 midfielders, and played 3 wingers. If you notice the way Keshi played, he knew Cote d'Ivoire were very, very dangerous. What did he do? He played guys, Bryden was there, Amunike was there. What did he do? He played Bryden to the wing and played Victor Moses. Once those things were happening on the wings, Cote d'Ivoire had no choice than to go back. So that's what I was trying to say, that Keshi, when he started, he wasn't playing that formation when he started. But when he went to Cote d'Ivoire, he changed the formation. And then when he played against Mali, he played a different formation. And then when he went back to play the finals, he played a completely different formation. That's why you know coaches that, for me, I am the post-Westerhoff style of players coaches. Because Westerhoff will play you 3 different patterns of football. Under Eric Shea, we are playing in one direction. And that is why we lost to coach. Same thing. We are doing the same thing that was wrong, the same way, result. Ben, Eric Shea out. He's tried. He should go.
All right.
Get another coach.
All right.
Thank you, guys. God bless you, man.
Thank you. So Sam is on the Eric Shea out train. Some of the points that he made, I strongly disagree with. Again, like I said, if you are criticizing him for the game today, you think Walid Regragui outcoached him, I would understand. But then when you start telling me about Sunday Olise, you lose me. Because again, this is similar to what I was saying. I remember when I was here, when we lost the final of the AFCON, we were all here on this live. Sports Grinder was here. People were criticizing Jose Peseiro at the time. And I kept saying it. How can we be criticizing the coach that took us to our first final since 2013? Nigerians, we have this lofty expectation, but we don't realize that we consistently underperform. And then now, Eric Shell, we want to criticize him. And yeah, if you want to criticize him, but you cannot compare him to those that have been at the job and not done as well. If we are even talking about, bring back Peseiro took us to the final, I will even allow it and say, okay, true, Shai took us to the final. But you cannot be calling names that did not even perform up to quarter of what this guy performed and then tell me, but I know some people have never liked Eric Shell, so I understand. I want to thank you guys for your patience. I have Tayo up next, then Oscar, Lekon, Udoka, Sports Grinder, Don Y, and then Ume. Ume keeps leaving and coming back, so you've gone to the bottom of the line again. But yes, let me just take people very, very quickly. Okay, before I do, sorry, let me just acknowledge because I have some super chat comments here. I just want to say thank you very much to Igbinovia says announce retirement and start building for 2027. I'm not sure who he's talking about, maybe Eric Shell, but yes, that's Igbinovia. Thank you, Olu, for the super chat as well. And then Real Case says, God forbid Amunike Olise as Eagles manager. All right. Okay, Tayo, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, AyoT. What a day. I say the winning side is the shouting side. So today we are not we bite the dust today, so we are not on the shouting side. However, I have my own disagreements with some of the things you have said yourself, and also I have a lot of disagreement with what the last speaker has said. With due respect, I will start by saying, give those boys their kudos. That was a very tactical game we have just watched. In fact, it didn't surprise me. It didn't shock me. Because what both teams have done is to try to nullify the threats of the opponent we are playing. We are the ones that have said Ibrahim Diaz is the most prolific striker as far as this AFCON is concerned. And our Bruno Imachi stopped him, frustrated him, and did not allow him to play. At least to a large extent, he reduced his potency. Hakimi came to that same flank to try to do a lot of things. It was not working. He ran away eventually. Now, we criticize the coach that, okay, he was playing just one way through the center. They blocked the center. I give it to the coach of Morocco. He blocked the center. Those channels, there were two. Whether Iwobi was using it on the right or using it on the left, the road. It was obvious. Now, you said they didn't change pattern. They changed. There were times that saw.
I didn't say that.
Okay, no, I think maybe it was the last speaker or no, it was even the fourth speaker. What's his name? Sorry, this fellow. The one your first speaker today. They were saying they didn't change formation. They didn't change pattern. No. When it was difficult, Bassi started doing long, especially to the flank. He would try to spray it even in the extra time. They were still doing it to Dele Bashiru to see whether he can make it happen. Why was this man brought the man on the side?
Moses Simon?
Moses Simon. It was because of crosses. It is a way of trying to tweak things. They have seen that the remote Onyedika definitely the match swallowed him. Nerves crept in because I believe he's a good player in his own right, but match past match. Okay, the truth is that match past match, this match has showed that Onyedika still has a road, a long way to go. And whether you like it or not, anybody that plays in Premiership, cut cap for that person. No. Cut cap for that person. The Premiership experience of Ndidi, of Wodby, and of Onyeka is what you are seeing. Speed, accuracy on pressure. That's how they play in Premiership. You understand? And that's exactly what Morocco was trying to do. No time on the ball. So you have to be very fast. You have to be, witty. You have to think on your foot. Immediately as you are moving, you are thinking. And that's what happened today. I give it to Nwabali. Nwabali, I'm happy you gave him a 9 in your assessment, and he deserves it. To be frank, Nwabali surprised me with the saves he made. He made good saves. Yes. Those saves could have caused problem for another type of keeper. So I'll tell you, Nwabali rose to occasion today. He made saves where it was necessary. He joined in the play where it was necessary. So I will say he gave a good account of himself. The defense line, definitely, they were the heroes of the day. The tactical formation played, we are blaming the coach, but we are forgetting that there are some tactical formation that is difficult to play with the kind of players you may have in your bench. Some people have argued, okay, why not play from the flank since the center was not working? How many wingers do we have in that team? Natural wingers, forward wingers. We don't have many of them. Simon is not prolific at that. He used to be. But recently, he has not been functioning like that. That's why we didn't see much from him. In fact, I think, was it on your show or was it on Smith Line? There was people that even opined that he should not play, that he kills the offense, he kills the game. You understand? And it's not surprising. He did same today. He was not much of contributing to the attack. That was the reason for bringing him. People that are asking for the head of Eric Schell, they are very ungrateful. I'll say it again. Eric Schell has made all Nigerians to be happy. Not just happy because we're winning. Happy because we're playing well and winning. It is almost like a birthright that a Super Eagles team in AFCON, what's worse, we will get to quarterfinal. Number one, we'll come out of our group.
Yeah.
These days now, the second round, we will do well, and no matter how it is, second round we will scale, because the quality of the opposition as you go on in the competition increases. Yeah. And give it to this AFCON. Look at the pairings, even from second round. You see that only few people had the luxury of not very strong opposition. But the more you got to quarterfinal, forget it. Everybody was, a formidable opposition. So you are going to get that, and definitely your challenges will come. We are talking about a game that we lost at penalties. We have forgotten that it was penalties that we won in the last one in semi-final against South Africa.
Yeah.
If you had won today, we would have been celebrating, and nobody is criticizing Eric Schell.
To be fair, if we had won today, we would be celebrating, but we would also know that it was a smash and grab.
If it is part of football, you win football anyhow. You win football any way you can win. I'm only disappointed that the Nigerian team knew, because at least I heard one of the defenders say we have practiced for penalties, and if I'm called upon, I'm ready to play. Is it one of the defenders that is on the bench? What's that his name? This experienced defender that's on the bench. That comes in sometime. How was him? Yeah, how was him? I watched one clip that he talked about that. I hope it was not a whole something that they were now, all these people that can put some. But I think they must have practiced for penalties.
They must have.
That's why I am disappointed. Let me tell you my disappointment. But the appointment is in the team, the mentality of the team. What do I mean? Why is it that the senior players relegate their responsibilities to the newbies when it comes to penalties and they run away? Because I agree, maybe Paul Onuachu is not a newbie, but there are people that are expected that should stand up and, they are just say, anyhow it is, let's go and play it. Nothing they happen. I expected to see people like Ademola Lookman, Moses Simon. I expected to see, though I've never seen much of Iwobi's penalty, but those are the senior players I expected. I wasn't expecting a Dele Bashiru, though his penalty was not bad. Okay? The moment I saw Chukwueze, I told my son, we were watching together, I said, Chukwueze, who caused us? So I was saying, who caused us this thing? Because that was the opportunity for us to win. I can bet you, my brother, if Chukwueze has scored that penalty, the kind of pressure that would have been on Morocco and the kind of silence that you would have seen on that pitch, because the reality of losing would have stared them in the face like this. So that was one of the most important penalties in that match. If Chukwueze or that whoever took that second penalty after, in fact, I don't even know, it's like they don't have coordination. You know why I say so? Why I say so is because the moment Nwabali scored that penalty, I'm not sure that I want to be corrected. Do they normally give the referee the lineup of how players are going to play?
I do not think so, no.
I don't think so. At that point, the team should have said, Chukwueze, wait first. The surest person that will hit the shot, you know the way Yakini takes penalty in his days? That he will show you where I'm going to put it and hit it hard. It will be like fire. That is how look at that last penalty that Morocco scored.
Okay, somebody here is saying you give the lineup of the first penalty, the first 5 takers.
Okay, you see, maybe that's what, because that penalty became one of the most important. If Chukwueze has scored, oh my God, maybe the story would have been a different thing. And it was too casual. God have mercy. I don't like blaming players, because it looks as if you are unfair to them. They have come to serve their country. Do you understand? Making sacrifices is not easy. They may tired and all that, but when you show lackadaisical attitude, as if you are playing here, it's very bad. Chukwueze deserves, he should apologize to Nigerians. What he did today, he broke a lot of people's hearts. I'm telling you the truth. Because there's a difference between taking a penalty and you say that the keeper went for it and parried it completely. See, do you think anybody would blame the what's the name of the Moroccan player that Wabali caught the penalty?
Yamani.
Do you know they won't blame him? That penalty was not a bad penalty.
Safe, yeah.
It wasn't on target. In fact, it was the last angle. Give that credit to Nwabali. It appears that Nwabali was also being told where to go. It's like there was something was looking on paper. Anytime anybody wants to, you will check where to dive to. So it looks as if the instruction of the goalkeeper coach was that he should go there. And that's one of the reasons why he even touched the ball. He touched the ball and parried it away.
Yeah.
So nobody can blame that man, that player, for that loss. But you can never excuse Chukwueze for that penalty. It was too casual. It was as if maybe he was playing in the training. You know, that kind of... It was quite unfortunate. And it also speaks of the mentality of the boys in terms of the team. That's why there's a need for a leader. I feel there's a problem of leadership in the Eagles team. Is either there's no leader, or the leaders, the senior boys, are running away for responsibility because they are afraid that if they lose penalty, they will criticize them. Because you cannot convince me that there are some people that have better accuracy and firepower, because those are things that you look for in penalty takers. Shot, accuracy. That is it in that team that have not played. And you are putting Bruno. Due respect to Bruno, he has had a very good competition, championship.
1 minute, please, Tayo, so I can bring somebody else on.
Okay, sorry, I'll wrap up now. What I just want to say is that we've lost. We have opportunity of building if we learn to build. First thing is to even try to see how you can keep the coach. I'm hoping that they can keep him, but he should not overrate himself too. If the likes of Bruce in South Africa stay that long, and that's why he's achieving what he has, you can see there's a progress, and they don't even have a talent. If this man stays with us, Eric Church stay with us for another 2 years, where we will be, I'm not saying we are going to win Nations Cup or anything, no, but where we'll be quite a difference. He's a good coach. If we change now, who are you bringing? You want to bring a grade A coach? Can we pay? Can we pay? Those are things we have to look at. So look at your pocket. Then what is the best that you can get from it? That's one. Number two is that we should not despair now. Or am I wrong to say that we still have our hopes of World Cup? Or is it burnt?
Me, I've removed my mind from it. You know, like for me,
okay,
trying to go to the World Cup through the back door is just shameful. Look, if somehow if they end up putting us there, I will accept it. But I think it is a shameful.
My brother, there's no shame in it.
No, there's shame.
There's no shame. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, sir.
I don't want us to have an argument because I need to.
No, it's not an argument. It's my own. It's my own opinion about it. My own opinion.
I'm not saying like it to stretch the conversation, and I want to bring somebody else on. But
no, I'm not. I'm just going to make a comment, and that's all on it.
Okay.
You cannot tell me that I'm writing an exam, another person is writing an exam, and the exam we are going to be marked on the same this thing. That compared, those exams that you mark people comparing the next to the next candidate, and you are using Expo.
No, but see, that's the thing.
And now you want me to believe that that person has.
The issue is that your this thing there is not an accurate situation. What is accurate in your exam scenario would be you're writing an exam, then the person maybe used red biro to write the exam instead of black or blue, and then the person got the highest score. You now go and say that, well, technically the rule says that we must use black or blue biro, so disqualify him for using red. When the person took the exam fairly, passed the exam, you now want to use the color of the biro as the reason to disqualify the person. That's really what we're doing. Because
it's fine. It's your opinion, but my opinion is that
they won the
if we can get a redress, it's not a bad idea. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate
it. It's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and thank you. I hope that we'll have another better outing next time.
All right.
And please, they should still prepare and play the third place match because they need to bring their morale up.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Thank you. It's just that World Cup thing. I disagree. Like, we're trying to use legalities. DR Congo won the game of football. We're now trying to use. It's not like they cheated. They didn't cheat. We're trying to claim that somebody was not, they had dual citizenship, blah blah blah. They are not the first. Some of the like Mbeumo. Are you telling me that Mbeumo surrendered his French citizenship to do Cameroon? Yourself, if you are from Nigeria and if you are from the UK, and then Nigeria should tell you to surrender your UK citizenship to play for Nigeria, yourself go agree. So like let's be realistic. We're just trying to use legalities to find our way to the World Cup. But I've removed my mind from it. I honestly don't think FIFA will give it to us. Sports guy said, okay, correction. The IFAB rule now says that the referee does not need to enforce the order of penalty takers. So that means that we could have changed the order if we wanted to, but I guess they didn't want to. Okay, we have to move quickly because we're already 2 hours 14 minutes into this, and we need to wrap up fairly quickly. Oscar, you're up next. Then Lekon, Udoka, Sports Grinder, Don Y, Ume, and then we'll wrap up with Sid. But yes, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for your patience. I would like to give you as much time as possible, but also, we want to bring other people, so let's not take too long. Oscar, welcome.
Hi, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I don't think I've seen your face before. Is this your first time?
No, second time. The last time we spoke was during the playoffs. I think the first playoff against, was it Gabon? I think so. It's been a while. It's been sometime last year. I can't remember when.
Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Thank you. I was looking for double delights today. So I'm an Arsenal fan. So obviously Arsenal played and Nigeria played at the same time. I was looking for double delight. Arsenal gave me a bit of delight, but a bit
I took 2 L's today. So.
It is all right. Then for the Nigeria game, I want to ask a question. Did the referee really have a bad game in that match?
I thought he was bad. He didn't make any
questionable calls.
He didn't make any game-changing decisions.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
all the 50-50s seemed to favor Morocco. Even the ones that, when you watch it, you could tell that it wasn't against us. Like the Bassi one.
That was unnecessary. It wasn't necessary.
There was a corner kick that Hakimi conceded, and then he somehow gave it as a foul against Simon or somebody? And I was like, They barely even touched him. There was the one that Brahim Diaz pulled Bruno back when Bruno was running for a counter attack, and you gave a free kick. Give him the yellow card. No yellow card. They had some fouls that were worthy of yellow card offenses. So it's those little things that I felt like were not balanced. But no be referee caused us to lose the match last time.
Exactly. I like you said, there was no one that was a massive decision that shifted the course of the game. I agree on that. But to be honest, referring Didi, I know you praise him a lot. I've seen several times when you've praised referring Didi a lot. And I'm part of the few Nigerians that feel I think it's time to phase him out. You get? I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I just feel maybe age. And I know there was a time he had a very lengthy injury when he was at Leicester. I feel that has really affected him. So what's his name? Oyedika. I was very, very disappointed with his play today. I expected more. This is someone that Nigerians have been clamoring about, that let him play. He needs to play, but I was very disappointed in him today. And overall, we did not do well. That's why I'm not even looking at the referee, because I'm like, how can't you give a simple 5-yard pass? Osimi was not in the game. Lukman was not in the game. Akko Adams, I was very surprised. I'm like, is this the same Akko Adams I've been watching throughout this tournament? I was really surprised, but kudos to the back four. They stay very compact. They did not even allow the Moroccans' attack to even breathe. You get Diaz basically non-existent throughout that game, if I'm being honest. They brought in El Kabi, what's his name? The captain, Hakimi too. Basically, if I've been honest, throughout the game, he did not really do anything. So the back four was very compact. And this is our goalkeeper. I know a lot of people have not really talked about him, but that guy there is in a very funny way. I just don't know what happens. He doesn't give you that confidence. Like maybe they are putting a ball into the box. Come out and dominate your box. Allow your team to settle down a bit. A couple of times they'll cross the ball into the box. He will just come out and I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, compose yourself. You're the goalkeeper for a reason. Yes, I know you've gone through personal tragedy. It happens in life. And may experience rest in peace. But still, compose yourself. You get, when you now go to the penalty shootouts, I don't know where the Nigerian team got this confidence from that if you go to penalty, you can win Morocco. Because after that Congo game, in the playoffs against Congo, I just don't understand where they got confidence from that. Okay, we go to penalty shootouts, we can beat Morocco. I'm like, even Chukwueze, his penalty reminds me of what Noni Madueke did over the weekend against Portsmouth. He won the penalty. He took the ball. Nobody even argued with him of taking the penalty, and he just wasted it. The same thing Chukwueze. Got the penalty, chewing gum, being all casual, being laid back, and look at the nonsense penalty he played. I don't know, someone said that penalty was with, I'm like, good care. From where to where? That was a very, very poor penalty. Then for Bruno Yimbechi, I agree with you what he said. There wasn't enough power on the penalty. There wasn't just enough power on the penalty, to be honest. But look, it has happened. After the first half, I said there was no way these guys were going to win this game. If they won this game, they are very, very lucky, but eventually they did not win. So look forward to the future. You were talking about the Congo issue. See, Shem will cast people. If you have any chance to go to that World Cup, let us go. But the chances are slim, if I'm being honest. The chances will be very, very slim for us making it to that World Cup. Then, Rachel, we'll fed the Tunisia links. Look, Tunisia is going to the World Cup. If they present a very good offer for him, can you blame the guy if he decides to go? You can't really blame the guy. You can't really blame the guy. But it has happened. It has happened. Like I said, I was looking for double delight today. But Arsenal did their part. Super Eagles did not do their part. Nothing spoiled. We move on from there. So looking forward to the AFCON next year. That's Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
All right.
That's
Thank
basically
you.
my guy. Take
Thank
care.
you very much, Oscar. Nice to hear from you. I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
All right. Somebody is fighting me on the DR Congo World Cup issue. Said I'm defending fraud. See, if you think it's fraud, FIFA will decide that it's fraud, and we'll see what happens. If FIFA decides in our favor, I'll come back here and say, "Hey, I was wrong," But again, as far as I understand, what FIFA cares about is that you have the right legalities to represent that country in terms of the passport and everything. They presented Congolese passports. If Congo gave them passports, I don't see why they have to go and throw away their other passports, because it happens. I have friends who are from countries that don't allow dual citizenship. Like I have friends from Cameroon. I have Congolese friends as well. And if you want to take up a second citizenship, you would have to denounce that one. Like your country will make you surrender your passport, and they've surrendered it. So I feel like if the country allowed them to keep it, then what's FIFA's own now going back to say, oh well, they were not like, for me, I don't think they committed fraud. But if you look at it like that, let's wait for FIFA to decide, and we'll see what happens now. Last, if they say Nigeria is going to the World Cup, will I complain? But I just think it is a sketchy way of trying to make it. Shout out to Abi Folami for the biggest super chat of the night. I really appreciate it. Says we can see the limitations with Eric Shell's pragmatic safety first approach. Interesting that Eric Shell is now the safety first guy. I thought he was the attacking guy. But he said if you set up to invite pressure and look for chances to counter, your team has to be spot on and sharp when you get the ball. We did not do that. I don't necessarily think Eric Shell plays a safety first approach. We've gone gung ho against the other teams that we faced. I think we just played a very good team that came with the right setup and the right plan to deal with our threats, and we just did not know how to handle them. But yes, our defense held up. We just did not know how to get forward and get past their press and cause problems for them. At the end, did he settle for penalties? Yes, he did. But the way the game was going, it looked as if we were never going to score. To be fair, it didn't look in the same way against Algeria. There was no moments that you thought Algeria might score. Is the way there was no moments that you genuinely felt like Nigeria would score Morocco. So I can understand a little bit of him just saying, you know what, make we no concede. We're clearly the worst team today. Let's take it to penalties and toss of the coin, anything can happen. So I hear your point, Abi Folami. Thank you for the super chat, but I can also understand Eric Shell a little bit, settling in extra time to just take it to the shootout. Okay. Lekon is up next. Thank you for your patience. Welcome.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How you feeling? You're just kind of analyzing everybody.
I mean, I've been here for almost 2.5 hours now, so I feel like my initial upset immediately after the game and sadness has worn off a little bit. Honestly, now I'm hungry more than anything. So
yeah.
yeah.
Now I feel like Eric Shell, he grew in some areas, but when it came to PK, he's still kind of average. Because I've been watching Nigeria soccer since the early 90s, and there's no Super Eagles team that will play a PK and play a soft PK until this generation. Historically, we compete even in the PK. This is the first generation that you see guys go and balloon the ball or play to the keeper. It's not head up. All of a sudden, how do you lose 2 key PKs back to back? It just means that you didn't lock in the lessons from the Congo DR World Cup qualification. But tactically, in the game, to keep us in the game against the odds, 120 minutes, he did well. He did well. Other than you can tell that there's that margin in competence where he couldn't switch it up and then get a win. Even though his team had, you had the players on the bench to get the win. Again, me watching this guy, I just think about, Stephen Keshi, the late Stephen Keshi. He, every Nigerian coach has a player they can bring in that will win them games. When Erichel starts substituting, you know that there's no player on this guy's bench that he knows can win a game. There were days that Gawa would come on, or Dewinge would come on, or Kanu would come and get a PK. In the 60th minute, that was when we won a lot of our games in our glory days. But you see, when Dele Bashir, I didn't know what he was going to do. Paulo Nuachu, very mediocre forward. I don't know how he's.
That's harsh now.
He's a mediocre forward. He plays in the Turkish league. He does well.
Osimhen plays in the Turkish league too.
I know, but you see what Osimhen does in Champions League. You can tell that he's a little bit head and shoulders above, his peers. But let me tell you something. You're a soccer fan, AFCON, African soccer, is tougher than some of these European leagues. Because African soccer, they'll be scratching you, they'll be pulling your back, they'll be killing you. Those guys are explosive. So if you can play well in African soccer, you can probably be a world beater. But if you're a world beater, you cannot. Someone said it on, I think it was a podcast or Smith Live's podcast. And that guy knew his soccer, was watching it. So because the player is doing well in it, the only league you can be doing well, and you're actually a quality player, is the English league. Because the English league is very physical, the English league is very demanding. And if you do well in the English league, a lot of the best defenders, they can play on that physicality level of African defenders. That's why you can come back to Africa and you do a little bit better. So I stand by it till this guy starts to till he puts in double digit as a Super Eagles player. He's mediocre. Because Super Eagles will play most of our games in Africa. Anyways, I would like to, Eric Shell is like he's still where he was at that World Cup qualifier. And it really hurt me. Because when he played a very, very determined opposition, he became average. When he played Congo DR, he became average. When he's playing Morocco at home, he became average. And you see, a good sportsman is someone that has the skills of Jordan and the mentality of Jordan. You need the two to come together. Because when you see Chukwueze, you can even, someone was calling him African Messi. He can even have the skills of Messi, but he doesn't have the mentality of Messi. He was just missing. And it really hurt me that a player with that much quality cannot be a game changer. And someone was saying earlier too that if we had won this game and we went and won the final, you'll have thought Osimhen, Iwobi, Lookman, you'll have thought all these guys are difference makers. But in the penalty, why were they not included? These guys are in the hierarchy of leadership. That's what the previous guy was saying. But I think that the coach said they are practicing PK, but they are practicing PK without knowing the fundamentals of PK. If you can't, Nigeria never really misses PK. The only PK that we lost that was a quality game was Cameroon 2000. And that guy went for power, and it was still a goal. We know that PK, it is one of our bread and butters when we were at the top of the world.
Well, anybody can miss penalty now.
Anybody can miss PK, but it seemed that we win penalty kick, you would know they will win PK. I'm telling you. Look at the guy was saying, was it the guy that took the fourth PK for Morocco? He buried it to the side corner. When you are good at what you do, it's very obvious when you execute it. None of those. I was putting on the chat earlier. You either go for power or you go for placement. The guy that went for placement, Nwabali caught it because he really stretched. The other ones that went for power, they all buried it. The one that we lost was because we went for poor placement, poor power. Simple. If you've been watching, we even us that do not play professional, we know the fundamentals of how to lock in a game in Nigeria. But some of us are old now. We can't play at the highest level again. We didn't start young enough. But why are our players at the highest level? Why are they not locking this in? The fans know it. We all know it. Why don't these guys know? I I never could have thought Eric Chell would lose back-to-back PKs in the biggest games of his career. You know, I'll pity him. You never know a PK would go to in the World Cup qualifiers. I'll give him a slack on that one, but you know, twice. Come on, man. Even if it's home game, because our home game it becomes neck and neck. You know, all you gotta do is bury your penalties. The advantage of playing in front of the fans, all that was gone. It was neck and neck. And you know what's funny about Eric Chell losing two PKs back to back? And again, I don't count the game. He's still a great coach. He's still a great coach. You know what's funny about him losing those two PK back to back? We were actually ahead. In the Congo PK, Pungo already lost the PK. Then we came and helped them and lost the PK again. We let them.
You know what I will say? Based on everything that I've heard Eric Shell talk about when it comes to penalties, I don't think he thinks there is strategy in penalties. Obviously, there is a right way to kick a penalty, but I don't think Eric Shell believes that there's any strategy involved in terms of how
anybody knows Eric Shell.
Because whenever he talks about penalties, he always makes it like it's a game of luck. You know,
If anybody knows Eric Shell, they should send him the video of Yakuba Ebeni playing PK. Then you will know there is strategy in playing PK. He goes to the ball really fast. He slows down before he kicks the ball. He knows the direction.
When I want to talk about strategy, I'm not talking about the penalty kick itself. I'm talking more about who goes first, who goes second. Because I'm somebody that believes that, for example, you want a very strong taker going first. You want a very strong taker going last.
You don't want a defender going first because
you don't want to miss your first penalty. It kills
exactly.
Things like that. But Eric Shell always talks about penalties as if it's just pray to God, anything can happen.
No, but in a game that the two parties are equally matched like Nigeria now, you know, it's inevitable. Even if we had scored, they could have scored again. And the players don't have the legs to finish the game strong. So it's inevitable. People say it's a coin toss and all that, but you have to have the right skill in the bag. So when you get to that point, you know you can use it. The other thing is the 120 minutes
to wrap up.
The 120 minutes that we played, he was good defensively, but in the offense, he should have brought Chukwueze earlier because this is the game that needs individual brilliance, and he just fell behind on that individual brilliance. You know, I don't like people blaming Alco or Sime. All those guys are giving their best. They would give even more if they could give that. But you know, this game was just not one of those games where they could do that. But you know, I'm rooting for this coach. I hope he adds the right competence to his bag. And he's really a world beater if he just adds those two competencies to his bag. You know, he can coach his guys, he can make the right substitution. He can win a tough game. This is one of the toughest games we've ever played. In Morocco at home, World Cup semi-finalists. But, you know, that's what I got to say, man. It's nice talking to you. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right. Thank you very much, Lekon. I appreciate it. Thank you. All righty. Well, we have 5 more people. So please, we'll need to max 5 minutes for each person so that we can wrap up. But I want to thank you guys for your patience. You know, you guys have been waiting a little bit to get your chance to speak. Udoka is up next, then Don Y, then Ume, then Sid, and then we'll finish with Sports Grinder. Olu, shout out to Olu. Olu's member of the channel. Olu says his response about PK during the press conference was poor. Yes. You know, I understand that some people think penalty is lottery, but you know, I feel like it's something that you have to obviously prepare for. Because even when you're saying, okay, I know some coaches like to just ask the players that, okay, who's feeling confident? And then those that are feeling confident, organize yourself. But as a coach, you kind of have to strategize a little bit. Okay, you want this guy going first. Okay, you want a strong guy going last. Okay, you want some of your, if I were a coach, I wouldn't allow my big boys to duck penalty duties, frankly. And that's why I was saying earlier that it surprises me that we get to one penalty left and both Simon and Lukman have not stepped up. I understand that Simon missed against DR Congo. I understand. But you do this, you take penalties. For club, for country, you've been taking penalties. Because you miss one does not mean that the next time you don't step up. You know, so for me, that was the only thing that disappointed me. But look, we don't talk this matter finish. Let's allow Mr. Udoka get his thoughts in. Welcome.
Yeah, Ayo. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Me too, self. I don't even tire for the matter, so I don't overstay.
Thank you for your patience.
Just a simple one. I will say congratulations to Morocco and commiseration to Nigerians. You know, So we tried, we did our best, but then our best is not good enough. Because all I just noticed is a thing of mentality. You understand me? In this game, at this level now, is who needed it most. So you can see that Morocco needed it most. They have everything going for them. You understand me? They play us out of the park. Understand me? We are kind of grasping for air. We want to survive. We want to, drag the game to to see how we can survive it. And luckily for us, we were able to walk ourselves, to the penalty kick, hoping that perhaps Nwabali would do some magic, which he did. But some players, and their tide mentality, feel like they want to just turn the tide against the nation. So, but let's just take the positive. And what are the positives? The positives are that if this game is just an away game, maybe a qualifying game, you understand me? You can see that Nigeria can hold their own in any country, in anywhere. They can walk, and even if they do not win the game, they will walk out with a draw. You understand me? Those are the positives. Maybe the only thing that is remaining there is walk. If they have a psychologist, they should double it. You understand me? So that they can be able to bring out the best from those guys in a tough game like this. Because what I just see there is not the coach. Nobody should blame Eric. Understand me? He has done his duty. He has done his additions, and see how it's going to go. By the way, you are talking about we do not do well. Do you think Morocco, are they hosting to come and to just come and watch, and people will take the cup from them? No, they will apply everything. They will apply the home advantage. Listen, let me tell you, those boys are not just playing only football. They play against every odds. Every odds. You understand me? You did it against them in the female WAFCON. Now again, you want to come and take it away from them before their very eyes. No, they will apply everything. That's why the question is these guys really is Nigeria guys really psyched up enough to face that game? You watch the boys, all of them were. You can't even believe that is Osimhen. You can't even believe that is Akwa Adams running as if he's carrying a 3 months pregnancy. Iwobi was nowhere to be found. Understand me? So that is not just only football. A lot of things involved. Understand me? So because you have to prepare physically, mentally, and otherwise, because you are playing a host country. So Nigeria need to start learning how to prepare to play against host countries. They are in a bigger tournament like this. The same thing happened in I was watching one Moroccan sports journalist. He was just giving details of how Nigeria normally lose against host countries when it matters most. And for me, I was like, but I was watching Morocco. Morocco is not that good, except against Cameroon. They did it in first 45 minutes. Second 45 minutes, they were nowhere to be found. If Cameroon were pushing too well, Cameroon could have get goal. The same thing happens today. You understand me? So all they do is that they put much effort in trying to choke the midfield, pressing you.
1 minute, please. 1 minute.
Okay.
No. I mean, like we have 1 minute left. I'm saying.
No problem. No problem. I'm even tired, sir, because I've been in. You can see I've been waiting for a long time. But then you give people like Tayo them. You give them almost 10 minutes to be talking. I just joined in now. You're saying 1 minute.
No, I'm giving you 5 minutes.
Have I speaking up to 5 minutes now?
That's what you've already done over 4.5 minutes now.
Oh boy, how time flies. I'm sorry about that. I don't even know. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, my brother. So just to round it up, let's take the positive. And that positive is that the guys did their best, but their best is not good enough. Do you understand me? Nobody should blame anybody. It's not our day. That's a thing. It's not our day. Because if it's our day, perhaps those boys could have been in their A game. You check it now, they are not in their A game. You understand me? All the people, all those passes we normally see at the middle of the park, we are nowhere to be found. You understand me? And I don't want to start blaming Onyedika. You understand me? So it's something that he had been keeping in the coolers for a long time. So today he was just thrown out in a bigger game. So he tried his best, but his best also is not good enough. So congratulations to Morocco, and I hope and believe that perhaps in the third leg we'll be able to get something out of it. Understand me? Because the boys also deserve to have something to take home. So that's the thing. Thank you for your good job, and see you in some other and subsequent this thing. Thank you.
Very much. I appreciate it. Yes, I know. I apologize. People that join earlier, they tend to get more time, and then when we start crunching down, then the time becomes less and less. I understand. I'll go and get timer, so I'll put timer on screen so that if everybody's talking, you'll see that okay, your time is up. But yes, we have 3 people to go. See, we're already 2 hours and 40 minutes into the stream. So that's why we're already well over time. I always joke that we cannot be a TV show because on TV they will never allow us talk more than 1 hour before they cut us off. But yes, Don Y, you're up next, and then Ume and then Sports Grana will take it home for us. So yes, Don Y, welcome. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is my first time talking on here. Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome. First time caller. We love to see it. Don't do one and done. No. First time.
No. I'm always going on it. I never knew I have to come through YouTube to go on live. So yeah. But today he said something like that. So I have to come on YouTube.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, for the game today. The only thing I just noticed about I think we still need to keep the coach. Because I work with the Atlanta United in Georgia here, and I work with a lot of coaches, and I can see in a team, there's a team that sometimes you need to change your information. Because for me, before the game, I knew this game is going to happen like this. They're going to pressure us, but I feel it should have just changed maybe in 76 minutes or so. You should have changed the pattern. Okay, let's go through the wing and stuff. But I would still like to keep the coach for maybe another year just to see what. But he also need to know how to manage the game. Maybe he needs someone to hire someone that know about game management. So because in a pressure, we have 2 games that suit World Cup qualifier and these almost similar game. But little thing that we are missing, just as soon as they take our midfield, there's nothing we can offer anymore. Then we need to go wide if our midfield is done. Then I was thinking today that maybe someone like a Samuel should come in, or a GK that I know that you have the pace that we can go in there. You know how to dribble 1-on-1. That's what we needed today, so we can able to just get some free kick and stuff. Because we didn't have any single calls today. If you watch the match today, no single calls at all today for Siemens or to do anything. So that's the only thing I think. But for me, my own game, I think you need a game management, manage the game with him, talk to him. Because now in these days they're always screen for the coaches to see, or their coaches. So it's easy for them to manage it, to manage the team. Okay, this is what we are lacking. This is what we can do. But for that, I think they need just to leave him for one more year to see how the team can grow. Then we take it from there. I'm not taking too much. I just want to join for the first time.
Let me ask you a question though before you go. Because you're speaking about certain changes that the coach didn't make. Yeah. I know that I will say he brought on Moses Simon. He went into a 4-4-2, 4-2-4 hybrid. Played only 2 midfield, and he was trying to use the long balls and the flanks a little bit more, which the Moroccans dealt with fairly well. But my question is, do you think maybe the coach doesn't trust his substitutes as much? Because even in a game like today, where we are clearly second best, where we are struggling, it still took him how many until if not that Onyedika had gotten a yellow card, then committed another foul. And now we know that if he makes another foul, it's probably going to be a red card. That was even what made the coach sub him. Had Onyedika not got the yellow, coach would probably have left him on. Akko Adams was struggling, but the coach did not take him off until the 98th minute. We played 120 minutes of football. He only made 2 subs that count, because the other 2 subs he just brought them on for penalty kick. So do you think maybe he doesn't trust his players?
Not that he doesn't trust. I think he have only one template so far. Because if you look all our games so far, the change is almost the same, which I felt like our last game, we are leading 2, we're in control of the game. I was expecting to bring new players. Because throughout this tournament, we have never been behind at all. We are leading. So we are leading today. I was even thinking they will score first. Okay, how are we going to cope if they score first? We need something that can change the game. But he always bringing same someone every time, which I feel like that's only template they have. That's why it's part of game management. Because if you have almost 20 something players, you have to force them no matter what happens. You have to force few of them. And about the PK also, I don't think they really practice much about PK. If they do, there's no way we have like our defender taking the last time too. It happened to us. We should have learned from that mistake. In Atlanta United, even though in MLS they don't know how to play football like that, every training section you see them having they have who is playing that PK, but they still try to bring new people in case maybe there's record. They still try to bring new people for their PK after the training. So they have it's not maybe they have one person taking every time. You have to make sure that okay, this person they are also sure that they need to pay right. But for me, that's a good game. We lost the game. The better side won, but I just feel like you need more of game management. You need to have a more game manager that can manage the game. There's okay, we are losing. What can we do? That's the only thing. Without because to be a champion, you have to meet a good team. So if you are thinking okay, Morocco is good at home. In football now, there's home advantage, but in good football, Barcelona will go to any place that will beat you. That's football. Football have changed. Like we have to rely on stuff, but I just feel like it's a good game. For me, I will still they will keep the coach for a year or more.
All right. Thank you very much, Don White. Nice to hear from you.
I say, man, thank you.
All right. Make sure you come back in the future. If you come back, I remember your name and your face. So please come back. Ume, thank you for your patience.
Yeah, first time caller.
Yes.
First of all, good job, fantastic job you are doing. I've always been a very silent observer, but today I wanted to come in. I'm very disappointed, but the Super Eagles, I feel like they can raise their head high on the overall balance of the tournaments because nobody gave them much chance coming in here. We know the backstory, World Cup, no World Cup, and all of that, but today, yesterday, the better side won. Let's not give the excuse of the ref were poor on the day. The Super Eagles chose the wrongest day to not turn up. It's disappointing, but there's no shame in losing to this Morocco side. This is probably a top 3 all-time. They are an AFCON win away from being a top 3 all-time African side. Especially I've been watching football for maybe last 24 years. This is what they've done. The unbeaten run, the historic wins and all of that, plus home factor in their favor. There's no shame in that. For the play, I think Eric Chell should be kept because he has done a good job. But the one grouse I have with him, which you've touched on, is that he doesn't seem to understand. He didn't learn his lessons from penalties. Nigeria, a lot of people think penalties are luck, but it's not. There's a luck factor, but it's data driven. When I started watching football in the early 2000s, anybody that watches football, you know that back then, the best penalty takers used to go last. But in the last few years, it has changed. Best penalty takers go first because they've studied the numbers and you've seen that if you lose your first penalty, chances are high that take Brazil, for example, Brazil against Croatia. Neymar was waiting to go last. He didn't get to play.
Yeah.
And they were knocked out. So you don't get to dilly-dally. I heard his response, so he's going to go to the mosque and you don't do that. You really don't do that. So the Super Eagles, it doesn't erase the disappointment of missing out on the World Cup, but the quality of football they played for the first time, maybe except Tanzania, the other 4 games I can probably say is the best I've seen the Super Eagles play. And greatness is defined by winning things, but also there are legendary sides that end up not winning, but they are still legendary based on how they played. Brazil at España 82, Hungary of the 50s, Johan Cruyff's Netherlands, and I think this Nigerian side will be spoken of because they've given us good football. They made me feel good, to be honest.
You know what this Nigerian team will be spoken of as?
How?
They will be spoken of as that talented team that never won.
Here's the catch now. There's an AFCON coming next year, 2027.
Chance. Yeah.
There's also another AFCON in 2028 because that's when they want to change it into the quadrennial cycle. That is from 2028. They want to start making it into a 4-year cycle. Into so all things
No,
being equal,
so okay, wait. There's this is 2025 AFCON. I know there's AFCON 2027.
2027, and then
Then
there's
there's
AFCON
2029.
2028. 2028 to
No,
make it a
it will be 29 now. You can't. It will not be back to back years. It will be 2 years after.
it's going to be 2028.
Are you sure?
But if my findings are correct, I strongly believe it's going to be 2028. I believe so. That's the year
Okay.
they want.
I'm looking it up now. No, it looks like you're
Yeah.
right. Yes, it looks like you're right. 2028.
That's the year they want to start the quadrennial cycle. I don't know. There's still a lot of they have filed petitions.
Okay. It's because it's 2028. They don't want to clash with the World Cup.
The World Cup, exactly. So I don't know if that's finalized.
you're
If you
right.
notice that there's no host yet for it and all, so it's still very. But all things being equal, they have a shot at 2 AFCONs in the next 2 years by CAF calendar right now. So they still have a shot. That's why I believe Chelsea should be kept. My only grouse with Chelsea today is that that penalty shooter, he should learn from it. I beg. There's no need to be doing things once they. Penalties are data. Germany almost 12 straight penalty shootouts, so they didn't lose until Euro 2016. It's not by luck that they had that run. So that's the only thing. Our players didn't turn up today, unfortunately. The better team officiating was a bit iffy, but we didn't deserve to go through, to be honest. Kudos to Morocco. Good luck to them, and they kept up with tradition, to be honest, because I think these are 18th or 19th semi-final, AFCON semi-final, and we have just 3 titles to show for it. So they kept up with tradition. So it's not they kept up with tradition, and that tradition they need to keep up to is that we've never lost a 3rd place match ever in history. Every time we've gone into a 3rd place match, we've won. So Egypt haven't been good in this tournament. So I expect that we should win Egypt, keep chill, walk towards the next AFCON next year. I believe it should be next year, and let's see how it goes. If they have to win something. This generation of players at least we've seen that they themselves now, they know what they are capable of. So it's just to cement that their legacy with a win, and they have two opportunities in the next few years to do so. So back to back. I hope they should. That's why I believe Chelsea should be kept. He should just work on his pen and his game management also. Those are the two. Because if you keep playing knockout football, chances are high that you will definitely get into penalties, and you can't have that kind of mentality going into penalties. Is poor, and his game management also should be better. I expected more from Onyedika, but I'll excuse him. It's not just him; the whole team was poor. That's all for now. So you're doing a fantastic job, to be honest.
Thank you very much.
Very, very great job, and we'll see. We'll see again. I hope to be calling in. So we'll see again. Have a nice day.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And yes, 2027 is the next one, and then 2028. Then we switch to the 4-year cycle. 2032. Some people are saying maybe Nigeria should go and submit bid, man. May self-host, maybe we win World AFCON. But I know I'm looking now. Confirmed bids for the 2028 AFCON. Morocco have sent a bid. Egypt have sent a bid. Ethiopia have sent a bid. No Nigeria bid yet. Angola are proposing as well. Guinea are proposing. Rwanda, Senegal also proposing. But Guinea and Mali together, sorry. And then Rwanda and then Senegal. All thinking about submitting bids. No, to be fair, Nigeria, let's be honest, we don't have infrastructure to host AFCON, not in the next 2 years. If we want to host AFCON in 2 years' time, we have to go and start building new stadiums. If Tinubu should say he's giving 100 billion to build stadiums, the whole Nigeria will cost him. We never try. We want to build football stadium. So realistically, we cannot host the AFCON. We just have to try to win it on enemy territory. And for me, I know, yes, you can say, host nation always wins, but realistically, Ivory Coast winning last year as the last time as the host nation, it wasn't the host nation factor. They just rose from the dead and they defeated us in the final. Morocco, for me, I can't lie. You guys know that I don't like to use the refereeing excuse. Now I know that yes, there's certain decisions that are always questionable, things like that. But for me, against Cameroon, they won fairly, in my opinion. Against Nigeria, they won fairly, in my opinion. So if they go and beat Senegal, it's because they beat Senegal. Even though, it'll be a very interesting match. I like the Senegalese side. The Moroccans. Let's see how it goes. Senegal. I don't even know who I'll support for that final, but I'll think about that later. Sports Grinder, is your turn to take us home. Final caller for the night.
Hey, hi everyone. Man, hi Ayo.
Hi.
I've been hearing people say they're disappointed and all that. Like really disappointed. I think the main was that Mozambique game. Maybe I guess out of pride, I didn't want us to lose to a lesser team. But I felt comfortable losing against Algeria but playing well. But today, the referee was iffy, but I know I'm a little. I've been one of the guys that felt Onyedika is a better player than Ndidi. But today, man, Onyedika, like, when they say somebody for your hand, he for our hand, his supporters. Like, I can't even support. If they even keep him out of the team, I won't even bet on highly. Like, I thought this was the day he was going to announce himself and say, I am here to tell you guys I'm taking into the shit. Nah, he's going to play for us for the next 4 years. Like, he's going to play for us for the next 4 years. But the thing is that I think, like, today's game was where I like the carefree attitude of Keshi. Like, Keshi playing Babatunde, playing Uzoni, like playing those kind of players, because clearly you see what you're doing is not wrong. And the natural replacements for that person, you don't believe, like you believe they're going to come in and continue the same trend. Keshi would be very bold to take the kind of decision that Shea wouldn't want to take. I was thinking he would be like, okay, you know what? We're pegged back. We're on the brink of losing this game. Let me throw in a wild factor and a King Samiro that can come in and do something. Or throw in
Mohamed Usman.
No, like, not even Mohamed Usman. Like, I don't know, like, if Fago can, like, the little I saw of Fago in Egypt, I thought he could run. Like, I was like, throwing someone that Morocco don't understand, okay, is this a runner? Is this a dribbler? What is it going to do? Like, just throwing a wild card. Because any other card we're going to put, Morocco have studied them. Morocco have understood, like, if we cut out Onyedika, if we cut out Iwobi, like, Nigeria is done. So how we go? So I expected him to do something. Yeah, he tried to alter the formation, but the personnel he brought in has declined and has, like, the worst output now. Moses Simon. So the moment Moses Simon was coming in, I knew we were heading to the PKs. Like, it was a matter of don't concede, go to PKs. I knew there was no goal that was going to come. But like, the slow play of Onyedika really surprised me. Like, the number of times they won the ball from him in the first half, I thought he wasn't coming out for the second half. But to my surprise, I saw him. Shell is a coach, like, when I've noticed it with Mali. When he's on top, he dominates it fully. But once you take the midfield from him, especially when Ivory Coast started somehow with 10 men, started getting into the game and taking the game away from Mali, you could start seeing Mali started becoming clueless against Ivory Coast. Today, it's almost, I was seeing flashbacks of DRC, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I saw that he was, like, confused. Now to the penalties. I know penalties sometimes can be data driven, but at the end of the day, it is still luck.
It's not luck.
I know.
I completely disagree with the luck factor. I think it is. See, look, is there an element of chance with penalties? You have to guess. Goalkeeper, for example, you are guessing, so there is chance. But I don't think it is luck, because it's preparation. That there's a lot of preparation. There is a reason why certain goalkeepers are known as penalty stoppers. They are not just the luckiest goalkeepers in the world. They are goalkeepers that study and know that, okay, I'm going up against Sports Grinder. There is a 70% chance that this is what Sports Grinder is going to do. so I take my chance. And the 30% of the time that he doesn't do that thing, well, I raise my hand up and say he beats me. But then if 70% of the time means that 7 out of 10, I will get it right. And that's where preparation comes into it. You know, how much did Umar Bali study the Moroccan penalty takers? How much did Yassine Bono study the Nigerian penalty takers to know what their tendencies are? Because somebody like me now, sorry, just to say, Bruno's penalty now, I knew exactly where Bruno was taking that penalty to, because I've seen.
But that's the thing. With Bruno. If I was Bruno, I would have likely done the same thing, because my mind would be, I'm the only taker from DRC that is going to play. This guy knows I went to the left and I placed it very well there.
So maybe he will change direction.
I would assume that, okay, the guy will feel I may change my mind. Let me go the same way. Like if you see Akanji, if you go to, was it 2020, the one they were moving the Euro games between many nations? Akanji played his PK against France in one direction and scored. Against Spain in the quarterfinals, he went that same direction and missed it. I
understand. I'm not saying that I don't get right. I'm just saying, see, that's where the mental game also comes into it. But there are tendencies. It's just one of those things. Like Bruno was more likely than not going to take it in that direction. And if he changed it, the goalkeeper will say, oh, well, he changed it. I mean, I was wrong. But the fact that he took it there, and again, certain things you think about the moment as well. You might be thinking, okay, the goalkeeper knows that this is what I usually take, so let me change it. But then when you factor in pressure, Bruno's penalty was a pressure penalty because Morocco were in the lead. So you think about it that maybe he might have changed it, but now that there is pressure in his mind, you're like, oh, let me just go with what I know how to do. There's all kinds of factors. Sometimes you win the mind games, sometimes you lose the mind games. But I don't think it is luck. I don't agree with that word luck. I think
So sometimes I feel you should place your PK where, like Bruno, I would not fault the direction he chose, but I will fault why he didn't change it at last minute. Because if you notice his PK against DRC, we were praising it because it was the best well-placed PK. He put it to the angle. Today, Bono did what he did not do for other PKs. He took 2 steps to the left to make sure he covers the end in case Bruno goes there. I was thinking, because Bruno moved very fast, I was thinking Bruno would at least just hang small and just try to change it somehow. Seeing Bono had committed too much, I was thinking he was going to change. That's the only place I faulted. But I think he had already made up his mind. Omo, I left, I go there. End of story.
About the penalty that I also was waiting for you to come on so that I'll tell you that I disagree, because I watched when I was talking to the other guy, he made me go and watch the penalties again. When you said Chukweze's penalty was just like the Dele Bashiru and the other one that went in. No, because if you go and watch Onuachu's penalty, for example, Onuachu ran and did a stutter step. And when he stuttered, Bono already shifted
committed,
Onuachu took it to the second direction. Similar with Fisayo Dele Bashiru. Before Dele Bashiru took his penalty, Bono was already pointing mind games that, oh, he should take it up there. And then when Fisayo Dele Bashiru was running, he was looking at that direction that Bono was pointing to, and then last minute he changed and then took it to the other direction. And Bono went towards the direction I was pointing to. So it was quite different. Chukweze's own, I think he did not want to look at the goalkeeper. So he went, he was chewing his gum, he blew the bubble. He blew the bubble.
No, but Chukweze's thing,
and Chukwueze,
I thought that he didn't run. I think maybe, okay, if you look at Chukweze's PK, it's almost the same thing like Omero's PK against South Africa. They walked, and waited for the goalkeeper to commit. But Bonu somehow did not commit. Yes. And I think Chukwueze was like waiting for the guy to commit. The guy didn't want to commit and was like, I'm just going to pick my direction. If this guy go here, go there. But he walked, and was hoping. But Bono waited to the very last.
And that was the thing. See, maybe, I don't know, see again, we're guessing. But maybe Bono had learned that, okay, on Wachu zone, I committed. He deceived me. Dele Bashiru zone, I committed. He deceived me. Maybe for Chukwueze, he was like, I'm just going to hold until the last minute.
To the last minute, yeah.
If you are running, if it's a run-up, you can put enough power that even if the goalkeeper dives after the shot, it's too powerful, so he cannot get there.
If you go under him, yeah.
Walking, and then the goalkeeper did not commit, he could not get the power on the shots. So it was almost as if he just passed it
to him. Yeah.
if
But he kind of used the same concept, but the delivery was
the delivery.
poor.
And see, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, the reality of it is that what is causing it to have as much criticism as it is getting was just the attitude. Because he could have run up and the goalkeeper would still have saved it. But then it's just because of the fact that you're
The
bouncing.
blue gum, he was bouncing. No. See, people, see, bro, there's a difference between me and you training PKs, just between me, you, and 18 people. But there's a difference when you're playing PK, stakes are on the line, 65,000 people shouting against you, whistling. Bro, it's not easy. I think that was his own way of easing pressure to show Bruno, like, I did here, I did calm, I got this. You understand? That was his way, like, to me, penalties, it's just painful that we keep, like, now we've lost 2 back-to-back penalties. Like, previously we were known for winning PKs, after we lost in 2000 and 2004, we won in 2006, 2000, I think 2010 we won against Zambia. We've done good in PKs. We won in 94, but it's just one of those things. But I'll say they should keep Chell, but Chell has to start picking the right players. I think I will not say some people have played themselves out of the team, but he has to have a better squad that he can rely on. I hope the third place match, like, I don't really care about the bronze, but I need to see a King Samira pair with Ndidi, and it will be like to see options how we will play. And he needs to bring in more people after this. He needs to bring in more players. Sani Suleiman is in Leipzig. I hope he can remove Yan Diomande from the squad, but Yan Diomande is too good for him to start starting over him. Bali is in Leipzig. Let's start introducing him to see what he can do. Maybe he can bring the old spark of Simon. But the boys should keep their head high. I expect to see Iwobi's vlog. I hope he doesn't.
Let's see if he gives us an episode.
No. If I'm him, I'm going to. I've been doing vlogs in good and bad times. I'm going to do vlog both for third place. I'll do vlog, everything. Yeah. I'll do vlog. He has to do that. Yeah, he has to do that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Did well.
Thank you very much. Always nice hearing from you. Thank you.
No worries, man. All right. Take care.
All right. That was Sports Grinder. Oh man, it's been a fun conversation. We've crossed the 3-hour mark. So everyone that is still tuned in, I appreciate you guys. You guys are the real. You are the real ones, man. You guys are the real ones. For you to stay here for north of 3 hours, listening to myself and listening to all the callers, just share their thoughts on the game. I really, really appreciate it. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do me a favor and hit the like button on this video. It goes a very, very long way for the channel. It helps us to grow. It helps us to reach more people and just to keep on getting the motivation to even just do these streams and create all the content that we create. And if you are new here, if this is your first time on Eagle Striker, for whatever reason, you're just finding out about us today, no harm. Welcome. Just make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can enjoy our bank of content. There's so much content for you to catch up on already. Lots of interviews. You can check out the Niger FC podcast that we do every week. We'll resume our regularly scheduled programming after the AFCON. And you can check out the Home of Nigerian Football podcast. That is my interview podcast where I've interviewed all sorts of Nigerian players, legends, coaches, and so much more. Check it out. So that content is evergreen. And yes, for now, I have to sign out. I have to go relax. It's been a long game, a long evening. I need to eat. I've had nothing to eat today, and it's already 8:46 over here. So I need to do that and get some energy. And of course, we're looking forward to the third place match against Egypt coming up on Saturday. I will do a pre-match preview for that game. As much as I'm not motivated to do it, I will do a pre-match preview for the Egypt game. And would I do a post-match show? Let's see. My mind don't come out for that game, but we're out of the tournaments in terms of contention for the big one, but we're still in it in terms of contesting for the bronze. Kudos to the team, kudos to the Super Eagles players, kudos to Eric Shell. It was not to be. We were second best today. Congratulations to Morocco, and I will see you guys on the next one. My name is AyoT. This is Eagle Striker, the home of Nigerian football. Bye-bye.